What are you doing there? How do you get in? This is pull me pants up. Alright, mic test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, RPM at Nitro. I thought of a way of giving back to my members. We'll talk about that today. Woo! That was an energetic set. Can you guess which country I'm in? If you're a Patreon member, you should really have worked it out. It's a very big giveaway. Mic test, can you hear me? How's the camera? I've tried to up the game, but last time I tried to up the game, it's handicapped out. Shit. Okay, so that was just poor. Oh, no, now the gimbal's gone all autistic. 1 minute, come on. Is that alright? I mean, to me it looks sideways, but I think it's alright. Oh, bugger me, right, let's try it. Oh, there's no fucking... I vented this flat and there's nothing in it. Not even a kettle, not even a plate, not even a fork. There's nothing in it. Oh, I can use this. Let's try and weight the camera down so that doesn't happen again. And we don't make our expensive equipment. Okay, who have we got in the house? We've got RPM Nitro! Where do you think I am, guys? I'm in a new country. If you're a Patreon member, if you've watched the latest early release, you should really work it out. Although, maybe not. If you don't watch Lee's channel, then why would you know? Elizabeth is with us. We've got Don McCarthy and his music, or maybe her music, but I feel like it's a he, although there's a profile pic there. It's hard to tell. Looks like they've got long hair, but if they're a musician, of course they've got long hair. Because they're an artist. Okay, delightfully not. We love delightfully not. Ooh, Japan, that's an exciting suggestion. Could it be Japan? Now, in Japan, don't we have tiny, teeny, weeny little cock? I mean, boxes for apartments. That's my understanding. I think you've got to spend a lot of the shekels to get something. Ooh, we've just weighted it down, Tom. Don't be an absolute mongo. To get something like this. That's Befisting then on the other side. So, yeah, it's quite a big apartment, so it's unlikely to be Japan. Next guess, Liz. Andy Jackson, are you new? That's a very wise guess. Now, I haven't been to Laos for 20 years, so obviously there's the answer. And I'm sure apartments like this do exist in Laos, but I think they're going to be, I don't know, I'm speaking something I don't know. I'm sure is it Vientiane, the capital, you can get apartments like this, but am I going to be living in the capital city, guys? I mean, in Laos, to be fair, the capital city would probably be like way less hectic than a village in Vietnam, as is this place. But I'm living now, there's a little clue. It's not very hectic, it's very chilled, and it's a very different energy. I've been very naive. Can you believe it? And now, how did this enlightened guru get tricked? So you just assume that Southeast Asia is like all the same. I mean, obviously, you're like, oh yeah, there's different countries there. But it's not until you've lived it and experienced it, and I'm only just like scratching the surface of that you even begin to get any sort of gauge. How's Kit going? Oh, we like Kit. You even begin to get any sort of gauge. Oh, there he is. God, he's so sexy. Now, what I am admiring is the camera and the quality of the camera. Not the face. Sorry, I was going to say something there, and then I got all in going for that kick. Oh, it's unbelievable. So, I'll give you a clue. I'm in a very big city for the country. I'm in the second biggest city in the country. And it is less hectic than Namban, which I loved. None of this is anti-Vietnam at all. It's just reality. I love Vietnam. I love its people. I love its energy. But my God, it's chaotic. So I left. So my last experience in Vietnam, other than the travel, was Nam Ban, which is like, you know, just a speck of a village. You know, well, that's not quite true. It's got a massive Buddha, and it has got big waterfalls. It has got a bit of tourist attraction, but it's a village, and that had more. I'm not sure if life is the right word to use. It had more chaos. It had more noise, and when I say more energy, like this place has got the most special energy ever, but more, you know, like hustle and bustle than the place I'm in now. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? So I did a 50-minute Puget rant in the airport. So honestly, I prefer the travel from Namban to where I am now. Guess how many hours left? Here's another game for you guys. Should we play some games tonight? I've got a game. I'd like you to play. What was the game? Oh yeah, guess how many hours of content I created going from Namban to here. Where's David? Just text. Is what is I'm going to be sending at 7, aren't I? Right, let's get the stream on one of my other channels. So YouTube thinks it's good and worthwhile and popular. Let's just watch that. So for the second time, let's make sure I like my own video. For the second blooming time, YouTube hasn't released my video when I scheduled it. So either there's a glitch in YouTube or I'm not selecting the right time zone. So which one do you think it is? Oh my God, that's 3 games in 1. It's just getting too exciting. Sit down, Fidget Bum. You've got 59 people watching you and you're moving all over. I'm bloody shocked. Oh Romac, what makes you think that? Whereabouts in Cambodia do you think I could be? Andy, welcome to the club. Now, if you really want to be part of the Patreon or membership, you know, but welcome. Oh, Willie, whereabouts? Ooh, Andy, ooh. Oh, Andy, ooh, Andy, that's a big package you've got there. Whereabouts do you think I would be in Cambodia? Well, this is it, isn't it? It's all a bit confusing. What if I was living in 5-star luxury like every good guru deserves? What if next time I was going to get 5 Bentleys and create a gangbang dungeon like every good guru does? Lolfin, that's about as good as your nose. Yes, hit the like on your way in, otherwise I will ban you. Oh, that is a really good guess, Finn, actually, when you... this is actually the most sensible guess so far. When you take into account the furniture. Well, I have been jizzing all over these sockets. And they're absolutely outrageous. I mean, so am I back in England? What do you think's going on, guys? Well, look at a wall socket. Dumbo. Duh. Obviously, I'm in the UK. But then this is also a very sensible guess because, you know, Malaysia is my understanding, I've never been there, is, you know, very easy to find 5-star luxury. Well, clearly this is, you know, luxurious. And would Malaysia be so technologically forward-thinking and luxurious that they would provide plug sockets? Okay, so let's throw 5 minutes of the works for you. What's that, plebs? What's that? What's that? Oh, it fits! It fits! So obviously, back Paramount. What's that? What's that, plebs? Well, that's Asia. Oh, fuck. Oh, it fits! So you know the fucking wise player. Other than, it's obviously a very well thought out place, very well designed. So I'm still in Asia. There's clue number 1. Other than what you can see with your pleb specters. So I would say that if I was watching and I was reading the comments, I would be seeing Finn's great big nose, and I would be thinking, well, of all the countries in Southeast Asia, or Asia, you know, who's going to have a multi-dimensional plug socket in their 5-star luxury? And I think Malaysia is a pretty good guess. But then I'd be thinking it's Muslim, and Tom don't like those rags. So, would Tom really go there? So Finn has such a high IQ for your average nostriller. Are you even able to go to Myanmar, otherwise known as Burma? You know, I know people like, what's the YouTuber that's kind of like Charlie Beach but better, younger and more good looking, who goes to dangerous places? Kurt Katz. Yeah, I mean, I know YouTubers like him are going to go there, but come on, I'm just a grifter, guys. This is a good question. So there's only one country you can legally smoke weed in Asia, and most of us know that's Thailand. So on paper, absolutely not. However, you may be able to get a pizza of the happy variety here quite easily. Right, so anyone who's travelled Southeast Asia now knows exactly where I am. I've really just given it away. Debbie's in the house. Debbie's in the house. Debbie, thank you for being in the house. We love Debbie. Yeah, that's also, just like Malaysia, a very good guess. I almost said that. I just knew that Singapore would. Yeah. Oof, let's keep good posture. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. So there's obviously no Patreon members in, or there are Patreon members in. In fact, likely not as a Patreon member. Likely not, I would have thought you would be wise enough to watch Lee's channel. Because if you watch Lee's channel and you watch my Patreon, you know that me and Lee have done an in-person video together in the last 24 hours. So you really should know. Now look at this. No more moaning. No more moaning about the situation of the back and neck. Tom is now loving himself, respecting himself, taking care of himself, and he's managed to spend a whole $8. Can you believe that I have been destroying my back for 20 years? Oosh! Over $8. This is how plebeian we are. This is how disconnected from our bodies we are. This is how in scarcity we are. This is how much we value coloured little bits of paper over our own spine. What's important? What are we talking about on the BBC? Oh, please tell me. I think we've got one, guys. So is that based on the suffix? Ah, is it annoying? Is this working? I mean, I could open, actually, yeah. Oh, wait till you see this shit, my ends. So if I spin you around, I'm going to go and press a button and you're going to hear lots of noise. So I think it's this one. Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear? What do you think's happening? What do you think's happening? Those windows are opening, baby! So I've definitely never lived in anywhere that does that before. So hopefully that might help with the echo a little bit. Ah, right. Where's this? I've heard of this. Where's Cinnamon? Yeah, that is. You know what? There is one criticism of this place. Me and Lee went into this criticism earlier. The plug sockets was nowhere near enough. And what? You are so right. I mean, incredible. The amount of money, first of all, love detail. I mean, honestly, guys, we're talking like curved ceilings, curved walls, crazy, like stuff like this. Mine isn't a great example, but okay, like that wall is curved. I don't know if you can see, like above the window, it's curved, and the window's curved like that, And then they go for fucking blast that, Oh no, it's for a TV, innit? It's for a TV. It's in case you want to hang your TV on. But yeah, I was just thinking, there's no way that they're stupefied to that level. Yeah, it's for hanging TV, innit? Because there's a massive. So this is weird. So living room here, fisting down there, otherwise known as a bedroom if you're bored. You don't get fisted. I don't get fisted. I'm trying to get some shekels out of really tight-fisted, tight ones. Oh man, it's got to be 52 inch or more. Maybe next month is that 72 inch. But they put it in my bedroom. I don't want to watch TV when I'm getting fisted. I want to watch it when I'm monging out on my sofa, but then I don't mong out anymore. Oh my god, that's something else that I could talk about. I had my biggest test with sobriety last night, which I think is day 7 or 8. Hey Sheffield Uncuts, good to see you, my man. Very intelligent guest, but no. Oh, Willie knows, Willie knows, Willie knows. Ooh, Willie. Yes, I am in Siam Reap, people. And it is outrageous. The minute I got here, oh my god, I mean the contrast. So yeah, I naively just thought Southeast Asia was awesome. Simplifying it, but yes. And you know what, last time I was in Cambodia, calm down. I only connected with one guy, the guy I was getting green off. It one Cambodian. And he was lovely. He was just a kid. I don't think, and then obviously I connected with street sellers and all that, but not really. Like basically I just sat in my hotel room and smoked. And I was so miserable. And when I wasn't so depressed, I just spent the day in bed tugging my worm and smoking. I would make 3 Not Today Satan videos. I didn't see Camp Hot, I didn't engage with Camp Hot, I didn't engage with Cambodian people. I didn't notice any different to, definitely notice a difference to Vietnam, because Vietnam is just a whole other level. I can definitely see why the guy, but the amazing, obviously he's very racist and awful for the purposes of his platform, but he's highly entertaining, and some would say is playing a crucial role in removing a bureaucracy window. But of course, the only people that say that are far-right Nazis, so make sure you don't ever think like that. And trust the science and do it for grandma. But he describes the Vietnamese as the ends of Asia, which I just found fascinating. I only heard that 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yeah. Now, let's put it into context of Asia. So, you know, the most impulse control, the calmest, some of the most beautiful people on the earth. So he's by no means saying they're like the ends. He's saying the ends of Asia. So they still have impulse control, they're non-violent, but when you compare them to the rest of Asia, yeah, I can see what you're saying. So to go from that to this, like the contrast is deep. And it was really simplified in 2 interactions I had. The last one in Vietnam and the first one in Cambodia, immigration. So I got a demon as I left Vietnam, and I mean a demon, like she was bad. She was like just so dark. It was unbelievable, like on such a power trip. So she was, you know, I go into it in the video, so I won't go into the details. But she was trying to subdue me. Obviously my light was a problem, but obviously she won't consciously know it like that. She'll be like, "Who's this hippie guy with a tattoo?" or some stupid story. But really, what's happening is my light is penetrating her demonicness. And so she tries to bully me, and I reckon I'm probably the first person she's ever had when she does this to. Because obviously, you know, everyone's shit scared of immigration officers. Now, bearing in mind I'm leaving, I'm not saying I would have done this if I was entering. No, I would have conformed. So she's used to every single time she does that, people going. So I just went. So then she thought, right, okay, how do I break this one? Oh, he's got his hand on my desk. Like, so I've literally got my fingertips on the desk. Hand off desk! So I just burst out laughing. Like, literally just burst out laughing. I just went, wow! Oh my God, she hated that. So basically, I got like a very strong indication from the universe, like, well done, you did it, you did 6 months of it. Woo, well done. But this is not the place you should be dwelling. And then I get to Cambodia, Siem Reap, and it's, I mean, one, I'm one of 5 people in the airport, going from like, you know, the hustle and bustle and chaos of Vietnam, which is, I think, 119 million population. I think it's roughly that, if not. Cambodia is 17 million population, so, you know, a huge difference. And then you've got a huge difference in the people. So the immigration officer, you know, basically straight away said, I mean, obviously, of course, there's ulterior motives, and I'm not saying scams, I'm saying, you know, providing service and getting paid for it. But, you know, he's asking for my WhatsApp number within 10 seconds, and I'm like, what's going on here? And he's like, you're my friend. He wants photos with me, he's, you know, hugging me. And I'm just like, what is going on, man? And then I'm like, yeah, there's a different energy here. Like, as soon as I get off the plane, I'm like, there's a different energy. You just feel it straight away. And then the people just, and there's this, you know, I love this, and I love giving it back. You know, it's not like, it's not an ego thing. I love honoring, and I love that about Thailand. There's none of that in Vietnam. So suddenly it's all this again, and just this lightness, this softness, this stillness, this quietness. Of course, it's still Asia. Of course, there's still tuk-tuks. Of course, there's still 4 people on a bike, and the kids don't have helmets. But it's just another world, and then the people are just so heart-based. Now, so why didn't I experience this in Camp Hot? I think it was on me, and I definitely touched upon it in Kep, like that family in the first place I stayed with, that young girl who was just phenomenal, and the mum was beautiful. So I definitely experienced it, but I wasn't open enough to really even acknowledge it or take it in. But it's not. What I'm speaking into isn't just Cambodia, it's Siem Reap. Like, Siem Reap is another level, it's special. Now there's something around, I don't know enough yet, and me and Lee have done a whole video on it. Lee's going to become a massive part of my content, by the way. But obviously, you know, we're going to rein him in for English Refugee, don't worry. He's not going to go off on fucking interdimensional cosmic vortexes on English Refugee. When he starts doing that, I switch this camera off and I switch my phone on. My phone, I record Tom Great Tricks on. This camera, I record English Refugee. Just unbelievable. I'm gobsmacked. And like, I can see why I was sent to Vietnam, as in, I believe I live my life in a surrendered enough state and follow the signs, and I don't make decisions, I follow what I'm shown. Of course, that could all just be a delusion of ego, but that is what I believe. That is how life seems to play out for me. So I can totally understand why I needed to go to Vietnam. I can totally understand, because I needed to feel all my anger and hatred that was covering my heart. And then as I was really feeling that and really like, oh my God, then the body worker came into my life, and Lee and a few other things. And, you know, so I can totally see why I needed to do that and why it was part of my journey. And, you know, the fact that I didn't acknowledge what I'm acknowledging now about these people when I was in Camp Hot, although I do think it is a Say and Meet thing on top of, you know, I think it's a Cambodia thing. I think Cambodians are amazing. Like probably my favorite Asians. Now, admittedly, I haven't met all of them yet. So far, definitely 100% my favorite Asians, like off the charts, no comparison. And I love all Asians, I think they're great. But Cambodia, just another level. And then there's the Say and Meet factor. Oh, right, yeah, so Say and Meet never got conquered by Pol Pot, is my understanding, you know, based on what other people have told me. Which, obviously, that's all it could possibly be, because I wasn't there. And Say and Meet, Pol Pot. So I'm getting distracted by Debbie's generosity. Let's just get that on the screen so I'm not getting so distracted. Which obviously is well worth the distraction. Thank you so much, Debbie. You're amazing. Thank you, Debbie. That's you. Debbie was with me on the journey via voice notes. We shared some pretty voice notes, didn't we, Debbie? I don't have to censor myself. It's like you get your own mini radio station of this channel. Oh, I know you, Debbie. Yeah, so I had to go through all that in Vietnam to really be able to appreciate how amazing these people are. If I had come here without that 6 months in Vietnam, obviously I'd have picked up on it to a degree, but I wouldn't be like just reveling in it and honouring it to this level and showing it the respect and love that it absolutely deserves. Because my heart was closed and I was, you know, wanting to end myself. That's an exaggeration, but you know, kind of. Yeah, obviously. TV on the wall. All right. Actually, we have that TV on the wall and plug the hammer socket behind it. Just want to honour Debbie a bit more. Thanks, Debbie, for the early motivation. That's amazing. And it was really nice having you with me through the travel. And just, you know, seeing your daily transformation. So Debbie has decided to pull out of the fast, and it's just so self-honoring and so wise and learning to love oneself. Debbie is doing so much. You know, she was only. You'll have to give us some time to go with Debbie, but I feel like in the last 6 months you were still on the zombie pills, and now she's, you know, she's doing physical, mental, and spiritual all at once, having a huge transformation and shift. So she's completely changed her diet with the advice. You know, she's working with someone on that, and then she stepped into a container with me. So that's obviously the mental and spiritual, and she's making huge shifts. We've done 2 sessions, and she's just a completely different woman. Which is on her, not me. You know, she is leaning in. You know, yeah, obviously I'm very good at facilitating what I do. But, you know, I have clients who don't make shifts. You know, it's all on how much they want to shift. I mean, I think everyone gets something out of it, you know, even if it's just their ego, you know. Sadly, it's from a fairly egoic place still. But, you know, Debbie's the first one I've had where I'm just like, whoa, like, okay, now we're doing like full-on shadow work. We're not dancing around with the ego and then maybe like chipping away at it a little bit, which is fine and worthwhile and the pace that many need to go at. And probably until I open my heart, I probably wasn't ready to go as deep as I'm going with Debbie. So obviously the universe reflected that and gave me clients that weren't like just ripping the layers off themselves. And there's no disrespect to anyone that's worked here with me. I'm trying to, you know, just be honest. whilst fully respecting everyone that I've ever worked with. Spen's about to, maybe I shouldn't say that. I mean, I don't think he'd mind, but I haven't actually asked him. So, you know, she's doing all this stuff, and she's still, you know, very new to it all. Like, she's still, you know, the concept of the inner child is relatively new to her, for example. So then she's like, right, now I'm going to do a fast, and we're going to do screen time. Now, so this all came about from last live. I'm the incredible Heart of Hearts, who does screen time and water fasts. And I said straight away on my live, I was like, that's too much. Like, let's just do a water fast. Like, screen time's a whole nother level. But Debbie's like, I'm doing it. She reminds me so much of when I was like on my plant medicine journey and just like throwing myself in. But here's the thing, I was drinking ayahuasca on a monthly basis. Is that doing the work or is that avoidance? Well, I think that's probably avoidance because you're not giving yourself time to integrate. You're still doing ayahuasca every month. Well, no, like no one should be drinking unless you're like a part of a lineage from Peru or Brazil. Like I'm not speaking to that, but from like a Westerner's point of view, nobody should be drinking ayahuasca every single month. So I was actually avoiding, but I thought I was doing the work, and we came to the conclusion. So Debbie basically got in touch with me when I was at the airport, umming and ahhing. She was like, I'm not sure if it's fear, I'm not sure. But she basically said, and she was including screen time still, which was just ridiculous. She basically said, you know, I'm learning so much from YouTube videos, you know, like we talk about so much in our sessions, and then I go onto YouTube and watch videos around, like, say, for example, inner child. And I was like, well, yeah, totally. You know, that basically you know, she came to her own conclusion through mirroring herself with me that it was actually self-sabotage, and it was like the ego wanting to stop this process by just overloading her. She's doing more than enough. So Debbie's no longer doing a fast. So as it stands, I haven't had an email about it. So as it stands, the fast club isn't happening, which means I won't bother doing it because I can't motivate myself. But if a couple of people were to email me, then I guess I'd do it. So don't email me, please. I like my coffee. I don't want to stop drinking coffee for 3 days or 5 days. Okay, so I think we've done this. Oh, that's a good guess. That you know, based on what you see with your eyes, that was a really good guess. That this could be easy. You know, stuff like this is all over Bali, particularly Ubud, or that's my only experience. We have the best ladies all chatting to each other. Ooh, ladies love to chat. Couldn't give a hell. It's just Africa versus Africa, and it's all a satanic ritual. I do have a video on this channel breaking down the obvious Satanism that's going on. Referees dropping symbols. It's just crazy. So no, I'm not touching that with a barge pole. If I did, it's a Kiwi in the house. I love a Kiwi. Although not as deep as I thought. I mean, really amazing man. Hasn't really met himself. He released. I can't watch his content because he doesn't share anything about himself, which is all I'm interested in. And that's not knocking his content. Like obviously, in terms of the masses, his content's amazing, and it's not, you know, the lower end of the masses. It's the higher end as well. And then he releases this video saying, "I share myself" or something. I'm like, finally, the video I've been waiting for. I want to know who this man is. And I watched the first 5 minutes, and he's just showing Africa or wherever he is. And then I skip. So maybe I missed the 2 minutes where he might have shared something, but like I'm like, you haven't shared anything. So actually, Kiwi has fallen down a little bit in my awness, but I still love him. Like I still know he's an amazing man, but he hasn't surrendered. He hasn't met himself. And none of this is a judgment. Not many people have, but I thought maybe he had when I first was talking to him in the lives. However, and he is surrendered in how he lives his life, of course. He just hasn't like jumped off the cliff edge, is what I mean. He's an amazing man. He's a wonderful man. He's an absolute inspiration, and to me in terms of how he travels and how. So yes, like this is the thing. Like when let me just really try and clarify this. Yeah, it is. It's jumping off that cliff edge, spiritually, but then he's doing this bike thing, and like he's on a physical level, on an external level, he's totally surrendered. It's very interesting, you know. So this is why I just assumed he'd fully met himself, but he hasn't. I don't think. Very interesting. There's not many people who could, although, you know, I have suggested this to him actually, the way he's living is actually avoidance as well. Like it's because he can't meet himself and he can't feel deeply, but he's riding around on a bike to Africa. You know, he's got to keep doing all the time, doing, even though it's not, you know, in another way, it's kind of not doing. Like it is very surrendered, and he's obviously let go of anything mainstream, and he's living a beautiful, unique existence, and his expression of life is incredible. It's a very interesting one, like very interesting. I'm amazed, and it doesn't quite fit, basically. But I absolutely love him. But I really want him to share. Yeah. I've still got my head, so probably not. I just can't be bothered, mate. I mean, it's so beyond me. So you should get yourself a mini big. Sorry, somebody suggested that I need to start reading out the comments, and I know I'm learning. It's very hard because I just want to go into it. But I know from how I experience social media, or YouTube is my own social media. I don't look at screens, so yes, absolutely, I should be reading out the comments first. Listen. You should get yourself a mini Bitcoin miner like a BitAve and make use of your electricity you are not having to pay for. Well, actually, I am having to pay for it. And so this is the thing about Cambodia, it's insanely expensive, like unbelievable. So again, it's a primitive understanding based on what others are telling me and what I'm seeing with my eyes. They don't produce anything. They import everything. So the coffee today, unbelievable. So expensive. I didn't buy any, it was so expensive. Like I'm like, I need to go and find a market. I need to try and find something local. It's all English. They import everything from England. So we used to import everything from Vietnam and Thailand, and then obviously there's this kind of war thing with Thailand, which I'm not going to speak into. I will speak into it in my videos once I learn a bit more, but you know, I don't want to speak into something that is you know, so political and touches the people so deeply without really getting some sort of grasp on it as much as a Westerner ever could. So obviously there's no trade with Thailand at the moment, and then there's for some reason, I was saying to Lee, like, why are they importing their coffee from England instead of Vietnam? And he was like, well, they're trying to cut ties. I don't know if that was the language he used, you know, and I was like, yeah, but okay, great. Like, and he was talking about like becoming self-sufficient and stopping imports, and I was like, yeah, okay, great, I'm all for that. Grow your own coffee. But until you can, why would you not be importing it from the world coffee grower that's over the border as opposed to England that doesn't grow coffee? So I think there's some political stuff going on that I don't know about. But basically, they import everything from Europe. Well, not everything from Europe, but they import everything. I mean, and again, everything is probably too much of a statement. Like I'm sure they can go, they grow their own sugar cane and bananas, and but honestly, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. So coffee is outrageously expensive. Electricity is outrageously expensive. Like I haven't spoken to anyone about this, so I'm making an assumption. I don't think they can produce their own electricity. So everything's imported. So obviously, compared to the West, the cost of living is still cheap. But if you want Western stuff, and even coffee, which isn't Western, we can't grow coffee. Very, very expensive. So if you were to, you know, you could rent a cheap place in Cambodia. I don't think it's cheap as Vietnam. I'm about to show you. I've just recorded my first like real travel vlogger video where it's like not about my daily life. I'll share it as an extra, don't worry, you'll still get the daily life. You can live in that cabin I was in, overlooking the Buddha, for £83 a month. All bills included, and your electric and your internet. £83 a month. You're not going to find that in Cambodia. But you know, if you were willing to live in something of a similar standard to that, you could probably live for £150 or £200 a month in Cambodia. So you can get cheap rent. This is how much is this? Yeah, this is cheap for what it is. It's $450 a month. So the rent is still cheap. If you eat like a Cambodian, you can eat for, you know, easy $5 a day. But if you want anything Western, food-wise, I mean, so I've just bought that computer stand. That was $8, £6. But yeah, I'm just, for me, the issue is coffee. I mean, it's not an issue. I've got money. It's not an issue. It's just very hard to get my head around when I've just come from Vietnam, where they grow their own coffee and it's £4 for a big, beautiful bag, and suddenly they want £19 for the same bag. You know, I'm just in a state of shock. Now, and here's the other thing. I didn't notice this when I was in Kampot. I don't know if I was just too mashed, but there's no way. Like I am not naturally. That's absolutely wow. Gosh, that's so conditioning. Through my conditioning, indoctrination, and scarcity indoctrination, and all the trauma I've received, I am an absolute Scrooge, and I really focus on money. So there's just no way I wouldn't have noticed, especially when my heart was closed and I was all constricted and Scrooge-like. So, but I was buying coffee in Kampot and not batting an eyelid. So I am very confused. I'm very confused. And you know, now Lee doesn't drink coffee. So he took me around. He took me to two different two different shops. And one of them was like the Marks and Spencer's opposite me. It was all English. So that was a very bad example. But, you know, we went to the Asian one and that's where the bag was 19. I just couldn't believe it. And it's all like Suma, the band Suma. So if you're part of the New Age or spiritual community, you'll know Suma. You'll all know Taylor's Coffee. You know, it's bands like that, like English bands. It's very strange. Oh yeah, sorry. I was speaking to this. You should. So I am paying for electricity, and electricity isn't cheap. Obviously, compared to England, it's cheap. However, you know, yeah. I mean, really, really good suggestion actually, because many places do include the electricity, but you could argue that is a bit deceitful on your host. Bearing in mind that, you know, a beautiful Asian person that probably doesn't have lots of savings. Is that going to be too cold? Too hot? Oh man, I've got the windows open. How did that help with the echo? I might just put some trap on. So it's a bit deceitful, but if you're in scarcity and selfishness, which I'm not criticizing, you know, I'm only just coming out of that, then it is a clever move from that perspective. Yeah, it's a bit, I mean, I'm warming to it more and more as I speak into it. However, one, I'm technophobe. I know nothing about mining, you know, I know what it is, I can almost define it, but, you know, to do it? Oh my God. I don't know if I could. And also, I just trust and flow. That doesn't mean that doing that isn't trusting. Like that could be the you know, essentially anything that helps you to become sovereign and free of enslavement is alive. But of course, then there's also service to self and service to others, and I feel this is both serving me, but it is service to others ultimately. That's like where it comes from. That's the ultimate motivation. Whereas that's purely service to self. So, and I'm not knocking it. It's all stages, but I'm past that stage. So I don't need to create money. I just know money flows, and I know lots of it flows to me, and it always has done, even before I was conscious. And when you're doing stuff like this, and one-on-one shadow work, and showing up vulnerably and authentically, and Giving permission, and what I mean by that, not is like Tom says you can. It's like when you see another being authentic, vulnerable, open, sharing their journey, like those body, well, all of my content, not so much English refugee, but there's bits in there. But you know, like those bodywork sessions, they are so permission giving, so permission giving. Like it's like it breaks the seal when someone does it, and that's what I mean by permission giving. You know? So it's service to others over service to self, and that's not me knocking this in any way, but it is a less open, trusting stage of a journey, and I just think I'm past that. However, you know, if you were to come round and say, right, here's a machine, it costs this amount of money, this is how it works, I'm going to plug it in now. I'm not going to go, no, don't do that, I'm too surrendered, oh, it's not service to others. I'm going to be like, wicked, great, how much does it make a day? But I don't think I'm going to go out and seek it. So Eddie didn't do the work. I don't know who Eddie is, but he didn't do the work, and his energy was not flowing, and it turned into dis-ease. Look at the spelling. Not quite enough. That so it was a fatal flaw. It's just unbelievable. The guy spent millions. It's all complex. And it's a disaster financially. He's you know, he's never going to get the money back, and he's drinking himself to death. He'll probably be dead in 6 months. And then I imagine his family will have a big celebration. Because they'll get all this. Which they already have on paper. They already have. Oh, there's a fatal flaw up there. There's a gap between me and the next apartment. He's great. He's called Jeff. He's a big fat cunt. He's not actually, he's just big. And he told me about it. I was like, oh, hey, I'm only like, bearing in mind, this place is 90% empty. And you know how I feel about living next to someone. So when I was being shown around, I was like, how good quality of the walls? Because this apartment, I wanted this one because of, it's basically like in shade compared to the others. But I was weighing that up with the someone next door. And also the other possibility that the number 2 one, like there's basically nothing in it, but it's just slightly more of a sun. But actually what really swung it is I just traveled for 36 hours. I needed to lie in bed, and this one had the bed made and that one didn't. And it also didn't have the sofa in, and I was going to have to listen to people dragging a sofa around rather than just go straight to bed. Turns out I didn't actually sleep, which was a really good thing. I ended up not being able to sleep. I think it's the energy shift. I think like going from Vietnam to here, I think my body's just like recalibrating, and I couldn't sleep. So I ended up not sleeping for like 40 hours. But I'm actually really glad, because it means I'm keeping my routine of sleeping in the evening early. So I didn't get to sleep till 10 p.m. I just couldn't believe it. I texted Lee about some noise. I was like, is that noise that's ruining my life the security guard? Because if it is, I'm not having it. And he was like, no, dude, it's fucking miles away. Get over yourself. So we're still in Asia. So there's still going to be random interferences. So in general, like in the daytime, I could hear some music, but it's beautiful music. It's not bin pop. It's not got a beat. You know, it's beautiful Khmer, Khmer music. And I was saying to Lee, like, yeah, I can't live, not as in like, I can't live here today. I was like, this is amazing. It's great for a week. But I need a house. And then I sort of caught myself, and I was like, oh yeah, but how, like, there's always going to be external. If you're living in Asia, there's maybe not if you're on a mountain in Laos. You know, because Laos has an even smaller population than Cambodia. And I think they're the closest to the Japanese culture of so maybe this might, I bet they still, no, I don't think they do play music. I think Laos might be the exception, and of course Japan, and maybe Taiwan. I don't know about Taiwan. They're definitely not going to be as noisy as, you know, Vietnamese or Cambodians, I would have thought. But Cambodians and Vietnamese are on a totally different scale. So, So there is a bit of external noise in the day, but it's quite nice. I mean, I don't really want it, but you know, it's not like Vim Pop, no vibration, shame, fear, guilt. Okay, and then we've got this fucking situation with the flat next door. So he goes, "You're going to hear my music tonight," and I go, "Well, you're going to hear me fingering my asshole tonight." And yes, that is on camera, and it's going to be one of the coming up clips because it's very funny. but I said, and then I was real with him, and I said, "No, what you are going to hear is this." And he goes, "Well, I'll be sure to leave you some shitty comments, but I'm going to move tomorrow." And I just can't believe it. He spent all this money. He's gone to all this like curvature and stuff, and then he's left a fucking gap in the wall. Like, what is wrong with you, mate? Well, you know, you're an alcoholic, and you're going to be dead in 6 months. That's probably what's wrong with you. And you know, obviously, that's just the external reflection of the internal avoidance. Go, Debbie, go, Debbie, go, Debbie. Okay, my time scales was out, but what I think I've spoken to. I think I use you as a teaching for others very well. Please do, man. I have no idea how Kick works. I'm a new live streamer. I've done a few lives over the 2 years that I've been a YouTuber, but in terms of like I'm showing up on a daily basis and loving this live game, I'm you know, a week in, and 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, I signed up to StreamYard, as in I started paying StreamYard, which means I can do multiple platforms. So I thought, let's just do Kick. But I've never been on Kick. I know nothing about Kick. I don't know how it works. So if you can help get the Kick out there in any way, I would really appreciate it. If you can educate me about Kick, I would really appreciate it. To help hit 1,000, my understanding is that you can get monetized after you've done 5 hours of streaming. Well, I've only done one that was linked to Kick, and I think it was about 3 hours long. So after this one, I'll have hit that target. I don't know what else occurs. You might be about to tell me. To help hit 1,000 followers and 800 viewers, and also earn 1,000 a stream. 1,000 a stream. I can't even imagine that. You know, I'm earning between probably on average between $50 and $100 a stream. There's been some that are less than that. So that I'm delighted. You know, I'm delighted. I mean, that's like, you know, that's £1,500 a month. If you do it every day, which obviously, so it's £1,000 a month on top of what I was already grifting from YouTube, which is earning. I just use that word to say nick out the plebs. And yeah, so suddenly I'm earning a very decent wage to say I'm living in Southeast Asia. I don't do Discord, mate, and I'm not going to. I mean, maybe I'll get talked into it at some point, but right now, you know, slowly catching monkey, technophobe, guru should be living in a cave, not learning how to use Discord. I'm not really a guru. I'm also taking a piss when I say that, kind of, maybe, not sure. And no, obviously I'm not a guru. Hi Tom, you are right about Cambodians. Oh my God, how did I not? I mean, I kind of did see it. I just didn't interact when I was in Cambodia, and I was still up for like, I'm not learning any language. I was going to say I was a parasite. I wasn't a parasite because I was paying for my visa. I was sticking to the laws, apart from that. And but it's not, you know, it's pretty much a law on paper here, as long as you don't take a piss with it, and you know, do it in public basically. So yeah, but basically I wasn't here to experience them or their culture or learn anything. I was here because it was a cheap cost of living. My homelands had been invaded. You know, I wasn't interested, and I basically admitted this, like by saying things like, why would I learn their language and all this? The minute I got off the plane today in Cambodia, I'm like, how do I say hello? You know, everything's strange. Like, learning the language is amazing. It's wonderful. So yeah, I can't believe I spent 2 months in Cambodia and didn't realize how amazing they are. But they are next level. So this person, hi Tom, you are right about Cambodians, the friendliest and kindest people. I made incredible friends there. Yeah, like I never ever really considered making friends with an Asian person before. Honestly, that's the honest truth. There was the guy in Vietnam who I met in a coffee shop who dressed in all vintage English clothing. He helped me out with tobacco, and he was great. Oh my God, you need to die. Sorry, I love nature, but you're not. I'm not having you. It's just some fucking disgusting bouncing bug thing, man. I'm not dealing with that. I do feel a bit bad about it. Vintage man helped me with tobacco. Really liked him. Didn't really want to spend the time. I just wasn't ready. My heart wasn't open enough. I used him. I basically just used him. And I didn't mean that nastily. It was all I was able to do, and I couldn't. I didn't want to connect. I wasn't ready to connect. I hadn't connected enough with myself. Like all this time I've been saying I don't want friends, I don't need friends. I fucking love friends. You'll see, like the way me, Lee, and Maria are interacting, like they're great. I love friends. The way me and Debbie are interacting, like that's friendship. Like, of course, now my heart is open. Of course, I want friends. Yes, they need to be conscious. Yes, they need to be able to hold themselves. But of course, I want friends. Like, it was all trauma. So I met a Cambodian today that I would absolutely want. Well, we are friends. He's amazing. He's amazing. Oh my God, you'll love him. You'll love him smart. You're gonna absolutely love him. So basically, my content is you're seeing it shift. I would like to think, unless you're like one of these. I can't see anything because I need to hold on to my fragile existence and fragile version of self and ideology. And I'm now going to project and call you some names. Unless you're one of them, you're seeing the shift in the content now. When I get here, like it's not just me anymore. Like there's interactions constantly. Like so, me and Snar, like there's an hour of interactions between us, and then me and Lee. Have I told you yet that I did about 7 hours of English refugee content creation? As in, my camera got 7 hours of footage on it whilst I was traveling from Namban to here. I mean, I do rant about Poojies for 50 minutes, and that's an episode in itself. And then, of course, like there's the airplane episode and the sleeping episode. But, it's actually like, oh, right, no, me and Snart chat for an hour. Me and Lee chat for 4 hours. And half of that is also on, there's another 2 hours of that is on, it's not 4 hours. But, you get what I'm saying. Who's playing with their balls? For the people who are listening, it's not even worth reading. Debbie is not seeing some comments. Debbie is a moderator. She's asking if we're on 2 streams again. We're on 3. We're on Kick, we're on English Refugee, and we're on Tom Gator X. I think. And I've got a tick by all 3. So I think the answer is yes. That's much better, isn't it? Much better than hello Peborians, hello enlightened ones. This is definitely a group of awakening with the odd demon that likes to come in, but then Debbie gets out the sword and she doesn't obviously say that when she does it, but what I'm referring to is she decapitates. Same here, Debbie. I can see half the messages Tom is displaying on his screen. How interesting. I wonder if you can only see. Yeah, because if you're not watching it, I hopefully get all the messages from all 3 because StreamYard, there's a word beginning with C, but would be good for that, but brings it all together, combines. Duh. I was trying to find something else actually, but maybe it doesn't exist. Now, why would you so if you're watching on English Refugee, why would you see the comments on Tom Gray Sex? That makes total sense to me. Now, Debbie being a moderator, she's a moderator of both channels, I think. I'm pretty sure I've made her a moderator of both channels. But again, how would YouTube do that for her? I don't think it can without StreamYard. So it does make sense you're only seeing half the comments. Spen's in the house. We love Spen. Me and Spen have had a little chat over WhatsApp today. I mean, it's just, what do you think I am? Like, so this, but hire a bike and live outside of the city, it's half the price and still lovely. Do you think I'm a slug? Do you think I need this advice? I mean, thank you, you're trying, thank you, lovely, yeah, but do you not see me? Do you not see how high my intellect is? And okay, yeah, I do make loads of stupid mistakes, so fair enough. So that's exactly what I've done. I haven't hired a bike yet because I've been here for 12 hours. I tried to yesterday, but Lee had a bit of a paddy over it. That's an exaggeration. But he kept going, I don't know where to go for a bike. And I was like, I don't care, mate. Anywhere, wherever. Like he wanted to help and get it right. He wanted to use his experience to help me learn about say and read. And because he's because he hasn't rented a bike and he has bought a bike, which is unbelievable, like a bike, like a real man's bike. He's basically riding around on a 12-inch slog. Like it's unbelievable. It's a Harry, what do you call it? I want to say Harry Enfield, but obviously that's not the right. It's not Harley Davidson, but it's a well-known name, Royal something maybe. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It made me want to suck him off even more. And so I'm just like, oh, I'm probably gonna be here for a long time. I think. I think that's pretty certain. So I'm gonna buy a bike. So I'm just gonna rent one for a month. Like, just take me to any shitty tourist bike shop. Like, I really don't care. Oh my god. Costa Rica, right? Yeah, but so Jim Dandy, who seems to be being nice again, he goes through these stages. It's really interesting. Like, so obviously, to be nice, he's decided. This is my assumption that. Right. So basically, I believe he's like the awakened brave. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of life experience. So he's a high functioning ego, but he hasn't surrendered. He doesn't even understand this concept of internal, external. Obviously, he says it's beneath him and he dismisses it. So basically, that somebody's of the ego when they attack rather than meet. Like, when you see the content of Lee, you'll see how to enlighten people interact. Or two people are on that journey. Lee is enlightened. I'm on the journey. How we interact and how Lee will just pour love because he sees I'm on the journey, whereas Jim just attacks. So that proves it's like this. So what his new but he is a high functioning ego and he's very experienced and he's a good, he's a good human on the scale of humans. So he's decided, it looks like, that he wants to change the negativity in our current interactions. And so now he's just talking about 3D stuff with me, which is great. It's really appreciated. He has good information. This man is way more experienced than me at life. Like, really experienced man. A bit older than me, I think, but lived abroad. And living in Costa Rica is another level to living in Southeast Asia. Living in Central America is a whole other level, like, in terms of danger and, what the reflections you will receive. But it's really interesting. So Jim Dandy was a massive hater at first. Then he started giving me a little bit of money, like became a lover. And it's just been like that the whole way through. So he seems to be back into the love vibration, which I love. I really like Jim Dandy. I think he's great. I see him for what he is, and I know he's not enlightened, but and he wants to be. But so he's like Awakened Babe. It's all knowledge. It's all red. He's got loads of great spiritual lingo, but it's all red. And he's also got great life experience, so he can really perform as an enlightened person. And so you out enlighten him, and then obviously you can see him, because you can only ever see down. This is why we get tricked by false gurus, because we're looking up, and life experience and knowledge takes you very high in terms of the spiritual ego. And so, like Jeroen, for example, is another good example, but he's not doing it as, he's just a bit, well, they're all lost, is it? It's not that they're not trying, they're just lost. They're just scared of feeling themselves and surrendering. But the difference with Jim and Jeroen is Jeroen's spiritual ego, he's very much people pleaser, he's very much scarcity, he's never earned any money in his life, for example. So Jeroen tries to make himself feel better by being the teacher and using all this spiritual lingo. But Jim Dandy just attacks once you expose him. But anyway, all that said, right now he's in a good vibration and trying to be friends, so I will reflect that. My understanding, Jim, is that Costa Rica, so he's saying coffee here in Costa Rica is about $9, £7 per pound. Oh my God, I'm so bad at stuff like this. A pound means nothing to me. So this is, no, it's in grams and I can't do grams to pounds. So that's 250 grams. I imagine a pound is quite a lot more than that. So yeah, I don't know what that means, but I know Cambodia is expensive. Sorry, Costa Rica is expensive. Why is Costa Rica expensive, Jim? Tell us about Costa Rica. Is it a similar situation? I mean, they grow their own coffee, right? So it's not a similar situation to Cambodia. Wow. Oh, sorry, I thought that was Jim. You've got a dark. You've got a brown thing as well. So yeah, your council tax is £140 a month. I assume you're living in England, so yeah, I mean that's quite cheap by the extortion country of England. I thought when I went wow, I thought it was Jim talking about Cambodia. I mean, I would imagine Cambodia doesn't have council tax. And yeah, so they do grow coffee. I mean, Costa Rica is a major coffee grower, isn't it? So why is Costa Rica so expensive, Jim? Like, what's going on? Yes, so they use two. I don't know why. I mean, it's easy to assume, and I reckon it would be a correct assumption that basically their financial system collapsed at some point. So they started using the dollar, but they do also have their own money, which is called real. So basically, the cash machines will give you either or, everywhere except dollars, everywhere except real. You spend dollars and they give you change in real. Obviously, they're completely honest. You don't get scammed. So basically, in my wallet, I have dollars and real. I would prefer to take out dollars. I feel like dollars are more highly valued, but not really. It makes no difference. It's absolutely fine. Good to have you back, AP. How are you getting on? Hope you're feeling and surrendering and healing. Hey Rick, good to have you with us. Oh, something's happened. Hey Rick. Oh no, Rick, I didn't answer your question. That's what this stream should be. It should be titled "Is Rick Heskey a Shill?" Shall we save it? So I was thinking. So I'm really sorry, Rick. I got too excited. You chucked in a fiver and you said, "Have you Googled my name?" And I didn't even answer it. I just talked about you and thanked you for all your support you've given over the time. So I think I'm too tired to do that one, but I want, in the next live, my intention is to call it "Is Rick Heskey a Shill?" and to split the screen, Google your name and delve into it. I don't have the energy for it today. Like I'm working on 4 hours, 7 hours sleep in 2 days. Electric 0.25 watts is supposed to be 0.16. It's for landlord cashing in. Is that in Cambodia? No. The relative to Southeast Asia, the electricity in Cambodia is way more expensive than every other country I've been in. I'll say that, and I feel like the truth might be every single country. And I think it's because they probably don't have any power stations. Who are you referring to, Rick? He's asking when we're doing an interview together. I don't know who you're referring to, but hello, Conroy. Yes, we are on both channels and Kick, but that's not for you guys. That's for 14-year-old boys. Jim Dandy's back with some Costa Rica information. There is a guy growing about 10,000 seedlings of coffee in the next yard over from me. Can see them out of my window as I type this. Is still flooded £9. Why? Please tell us why. I know you will. So I've answered that. I'm now saying read, but I realise I'm behind in the chat. Asians love a Mohican. Maybe that's why Lee's got one. Your hair is long. You should have a. Maybe I should do that for a laugh, actually, rather than just this. Conformity haircut that I get every time I work in an office. Am I good enough? Here's my tie. There was a 2-year period where I grew my hair long and did the whole man bun thing, which obviously was totally egoic. My spiritual haircut. Look, oh my god, I'm so spiritual. But other than that, I have had the same hair since the day I was born. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Fuck it. Why not? Why not do a Mohican? Yeah, that's a great idea. Spike thinks I should do a Mohican. Asians love it. Why do Asians love it? Tell me about it. Should I even dye it blue? No. Oh my god, there's a great clip. I've just edited it. I'm trying to. Oh my god, I've got so much to edit again. It's like I'm suddenly way behind again. But it's only because I've been filming so much. So there was a great clip in one of the recent videos I've just done where I'm in some airport. I think it's Ho Chi Minh, and there's a girl with pink hair, and I'm obviously ripping her to bits, and her friend hears me. So and then she goes and tells the girl, and then they're like looking at me like this, expecting me to go, oh, I'm sorry. So I have one of two options. I either do the thing that I think most people would do and just sort of like Mr. Bean it, look away and pretend I haven't realised that they've realised. I have three options, so that's one. I could apologise, or I could just own it. Which one do you think I'd do? It's great content. It's in the coming up section. Don't know who he is. Jack Maruno in brackets Goth Guy gets £1,000 per stream. Oh yeah, I mean I don't doubt it. If you're established, if you've got 100,000 subscribers and you're on Kick and all the other shenanigans, you know, I don't doubt that it's possible. But I think for someone that's been live streaming for a week and has a pitiful amount of subscribers on the scale of content creators, you know, that's just a dream. But you know, I think it will happen if I wanted to. If I keep showing up and putting my work in and having that desire to create that, then of course I can create anything. I hope you swear for libtards. There's a big community of them, and they're trying to push their ideology on the K-Mars. It's just disgusting, isn't it? I mean, Pi was the worst. Like them trying to tell Thai people how to live, and they're just disgusting. They are utter scum, and of course. You know, I would have liked to think, but they're just everywhere. You know, the world is so indoctrinated, the West is so indoctrinated, but they are everywhere. But I would have thought that, you know, Sayamuri, man, it's got such a beautiful energy. I would have thought, I'd like to think that most of them won't be able to meet it. And I would like to think that most of them are so, you know, the R word, but, you know, they're in more established places in Thailand, like Pai. I would like to think that most of them haven't really considered. But you know, saying Reap is so wonderful that of course they're going to come here and try and destroy it. And because they're all controlled by a demon, so the demon is going to send them to the high vibrational places to try and bring them down. They won't beat the Kmart people, don't worry. If Pol Pot couldn't do it, come on. You think a blue-head Septum person Livy is? But sadly, the Cambodians are so lovely, they will put in base some of the crap. But no, they won't. Like, you know, these guys are guerrilla fighters. They absolutely kept out Pol Pot and that nonsense. You know, their lineage goes back. Again, I could be wrong, but definitely, I won't mention specific countries, but because you know there's a big tension around this at the moment. But essentially, these lands were all Cambodia, is my understanding, and then other countries, you know, established themselves through their kindness. So there's this particular country, I believe, my understanding is that the people were based in China. And they were getting persecuted by the Chinese, so they contacted the king of Cambodia and said, "Can we be refugees?" And he says, "Yeah, sure. There's some land for you." And then, as they grew in population and power, and realised that the king was weak in the words of the Cambodian that explained it to me, they then took a lot of Cambodia. And you know, now they're trying to take some more. You haven't emailed me back yet, you beautiful human. I loved your picture. Oh, she sent me. So I've asked her if I can use your name rather than calling you a tribe called Duff? I imagine it's going to be a yes, but I don't want to do it until you've confirmed. But this person sent me a lovely email, and it held exactly the energy I expected. And then she goes, I've attached a photo, and it was in another email, and I open it up and it pops up, and she's just there like a little pixie in nature, just shining with this beautiful energy. Like, oh my God, you're so scrumptious. Can I use your name, please? No problem if you don't want your name using, but it would just be easier for me. Thank you for the fiber, a tribe called Duff. Hey mate, love your videos. They've helped me in my journey as well. Amazing, I love that. Thank you so much. That really helps to know that it's helping people. You're a brave soul to keep going with all the plebos. Yeah, it takes great courage. But really, honestly, now I'm just at a point where I used to take courage to overcome it. But now I just laugh. And I'm too in, let's just call it peace vibration, maybe love vibration a little bit as well. Too in flow, too on purpose, too aligned, too obviously just taking in the reflections of my reality and the way the universe is reflecting to me. How could I ever let them bother me? How could I ever let them stop me? And and then I step into a one-on-one container with someone like Debbie, or I share voice notes I shared with Spencer today, and I'm just like, there's just no question that this is meant to be happening. I love this. Good day, babes. So you're on Tom Greatrex, presumably, which obviously is where all the best people are going to be. So Jim's getting defensive. You attack me as well, Tom, so you must be of the ego as well. No, I've reflected back to you. I've reflected your energy back to you. Obviously, I'm not just going to sit and take it, and which is probably an egoic reaction. Of course, I still have some ego, but I can take accountability for that. Whereas up until now, you haven't, although you did say as well, so there is a bit of accountability there. Well done, ego man. I've never attacked you. I've only ever exposed your delusions. It's never. Oh, okay, maybe right at the start. I probably did. But again, it only came after you did it to me, but I probably was like just attacking from ego. But certainly in the last year, 6 months, I've only ever reflected yourself to you. I've never come for you. I've never seeked you out. I've never started it, ever. Yeah, ever. Vic Heskey has a very interesting question for me, but it's purely an observation on current behavior, but he hasn't asked it. Can't be interesting, okay. Did I bring you up a tribe called Duff? Hi, mate. Are we almost up to date with the English Refugee channel? Right, so I've had another little break on this. So basically, I got it down to a month, and then I thought, you know what? So basically, there was still a bit of fear there around past traumas in Southeast Asia, and just thinking, so police and jail and deportation, and just thinking, you know what? It's good to have that buffer. It makes me feel a bit safer. It means if I make a mistake, or if I offend without meaning to, which is highly possible with my content, it gives me time to assess that potentially. It just made me feel a bit safer. But I think I've just spent 24 hours with these, so obviously that's had a huge effect. And that fear is going. So yeah, I am going to get it up today. I'm going to go back to, and honestly, like today, I've recorded 7 hours of content, let's say. So that's like 9 episodes. So then suddenly, all that work I did, sharing 2 episodes at weekends and making sure I share every day and getting it down to 4 weeks. Suddenly we're back to 6 weeks if I just share it once a day. So basically, I think what I'm going to do is start sharing videos twice a day and get it truly up to date. Right now, I'm telling myself I'll leave a week. But honestly, it would be so good if it was up to date. And then, because then you would see life play out, And then you could go on to Tom Greater X if you wish to see the deeper reflection of it. So you'd get the external play, and then you'd get the internal reflections all aligned. Whereas at the moment you're getting these internal reflections and the external play doesn't meet it. Like the external play is a different version of Tom. So an old version of Tom, a more egoic one, a less aligned one, a less trusting one. So it's crap. I hate it. So the answer is it's a month behind. However, once I've edited yesterday's videos, it's back to 6 weeks behind. So I will, from tomorrow, and of course it all depends on whether you keep clicking. So if I start sharing 2 videos a day, which means I'm going to have to share one at 1 p.m. in the afternoon at UK time, which obviously is crap. It's a really bad time to share content. Oh God, I'm using the kettle, but coffee's more important than your view. You've been downgraded down here. So I'm going to have to start sharing at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you guys don't watch that episode, then I'll have to go back to 1 video a day in the evening, and we'll be 6 weeks behind. So it's all based on your participation as well. From tomorrow, we'll try it. From tomorrow, I'll start sharing 2 videos a day, and I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it every other day. Maybe I'll do it every other day. But if you watch, if the numbers stay as they are, then I'll basically up it to at least 10 videos a week, maybe 12 videos a week, and get us up to date within, I can't do maths, within a month or 2. How does that sound? Does that get you wet and juicy down in the exciting bit? Do you think that's good? Right, we will change to the smoothie machine instead of the kettle. Yes, I managed to bring the smoothie machine with me. Oh, joy to the world. Woo! So we don't need to stop now. I mean, I will have to piss at some point, but I have a kettle then. So we don't have to have a 5-minute break anymore. Which is nice, isn't it? So it was a tribe called Duff that asked that question. Yeah, I really want to get it up today. I am going to get it up today, as long as you don't all. Yeah, so this I really am impressed with your career. So he's trying to defend himself and justify, and it's all going to be from the ego. Tom, my whole career as a chiropractor was about feeling. Is it though? Like yes, of course. You can also be a chiropractor from a university. I've learned how to be. It's all about the body. This muscle does this. This muscle does that, and that's my assumption of where you're at. I've been a chiropractor, which was all about feeling another's energy as my own. Yeah, but you can, the ego is very convincing. The Awake and Brave and you are great examples of high functioning. So I'm giving you a lot of respect as a human. High functioning ego, by which I mean you have great intellect and you have huge life experience. You've traveled the world. So you can kid yourself, so your ego is high functioning. It's high kidding you. You haven't felt. It's all about feeling another's energy as my own. I am not a stranger to feeling energy of all kinds. You are incorrect, sir. I don't think I am, but I really hope I am. I hope it's true. But you've proven it, Jim, by attacking me. You don't, and that's, so let's say you are what you are. Why would you attack from here? You never would. It doesn't happen. Like, look at Lee. You're gonna see a lot of Lee, and it's gonna really expose you, Jim. You would never do this. You would give reflections and you would wouldn't let people get away with bullshit, of which I have lost. But you attack. There's no love in your comments. No love. Where's your love for yourself? And why is that not reflected into the external? Because you don't have any. Let's get another question. I can move into. Yeah, this is the other thing. So when I did that video, so it's just, I've got to finish off my office draft for the day. when I did that video about how you'll never be enlightened if you work in an office, you just like, so you were so desperate to put me down and make me wrong, but you actually belittled yourself. You called yourself an office worker. You're a chiropractor. That's not being an office worker. That's a line. That's purpose. That's beautiful. What can I riff into while I make my coffee? Costa Rica is expensive because it is a money laundering. These blooming browns. Not talking about Cambodians, they're wonderful. Massive money laundered here, hundreds of billions of US. So why does that make it expensive? I'm not intelligent enough to work that out, or I'm not experienced enough in money laundering and how that all works. So I'm going to have a guess. Money laundering, and so people are setting up fake companies, and US money is being poured into those companies as some sort of fake service. And that pushes up inflation. Why would that push up inflation? Because nothing's actually being bought. So obviously it means more money into the economy. Maybe it means taxes are higher for some reason. But yeah, can you speak into that a bit more, Jim? I'm really interested in this, really interested. So why does money laundering mean that the average shrew has to pay £9 for a pound of coffee, when the other average shrew has 10,000 acres of coffee going in its door? That is what we would like to know, Jim. Okay, so it's half a kilo equals a pound. So he's paying $9 for 2 of these, which feels about the same as Cambodia, I think. £7 for half a kilo. I think you can get in Lidl. I think you can get half a kilo for £4, and it's pretty decent. Where have you been? No, I'm in just for what I'm in saying. Beef, and it's absolutely wonderful. No, Rick. No. It's not as an attack, mate. So it's just an interesting time. So it's delving in. Like, so basically, there were loads of people saying that you were a shill in the last stream. So it's basically wanting to delve into that and respond to that and to that. And, you know, either you will be or you won't be. So I'm not going to. Obviously, I'm going to choose a provocative, exciting title that will make people click. I'm not going to be like, is Rick Heskey a nice guy? I wasn't going to think on that. But that is basically the question. It's the same question. You've just got to word it in YouTube, obviously, which obviously negativity sells. So there was absolutely no intention of an attack. It was just the intention of what is the truth. And my intention is to Google your name, see what happened, and yeah, try and work it out. Try and work out if the people were calling you a shill or that, or try and work out if you're a good man, that's all. And it will just be based on the truth. It's not an opinion. It's not a. Well, obviously there'll be an opinion there because it'll be assessing the evidence and then coming to one's opinion through the chat. I thought it would be good fun. And if you're not a shill, then you have nothing to worry about that. No. I did consider it at one point. Are you going to go with the Australian painters cash? I did consider it at one point for a laugh, and when I was doing Not Today Satan content, I might do it for a laugh. I might just, you know, I might just do it for. I might just turn up on. Yeah, I mean, it would be fucking hilarious to just turn up on a live stream one day. So I might have it for a day or two just for a laugh, but no, it's not like going to be my look. Ponytail, I've done the whole long hair thing, and I decided it was just a Vigo. Now, I do think there's something in. Is there anything in there really? Does it really matter? But there have been times in my life where I've been kind of into just let it grow. I think I could be wrong about this, but maybe Native American tradition where it's basically like, why would you like that? It's your wisdom or something like that. But basically, when I had long hair, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Like sleeping is a nightmare. I mean, people who have dreadlocks are so egoic. Like to do that to yourself, I mean, it doesn't even look good for a start, and it's trying to be spiritual and all that. You know, so external. Awakened Vape had been for a long time. You know, like to sleep with dreadlocks is awful. To live with dreadlocks is awful. You can't even itch your head. So that's a whole nother level of spiritual ego. But I think even a ponytail, like, it's not comfortable. It's a hassle. I live in hot countries. I get sweaty. It's just not practical. Debbie, I prefer your hair longer. Oh yeah, you're not talking ponytail, are you? You're talking like it is now. I think I'm way better looking when it's short, but maybe that's like conformity conditioning. But you know, sometimes it's crazy. Like sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm just like, oh god. And then other times I catch myself and I'm like, damn, you are hot. And it's pretty much always when I've got short hair. The second one. Vic Heskey, I hate to admit it, Tom, but you seem audience captured calling me. Oh god, he's getting defensive. Ugh. Ugh. How boring. I'm not calling you a shill. That's absolutely not what I'm doing. The title was, is Vic Heskey a shill? That is not calling someone a shill. Are you really that low vibrational and defensive? Yes, you are. But are you a shill? Well done, CBS. You're so funny. No, he just has a lot of defensive ego. Sadly. Because he's a donator, you know, obviously I don't want to criticize him, but I'm gonna say authentic and true. I'm not gonna just blow smoke up the arse of people because I said because I know, because I trust, you know, obviously that's what God wants, me, universe, whatever it is. So I know that if I'm honest with Rich and he gets triggered and F's off and I lose out on my whatever it is, 20 quid a month, let's say, somebody else will come in who is 50. Because that's how the universe works. It's like, oh, well done for being authentic, there's more. As you're very well learning, Debbie, isn't it nice? Just with Albert, you're a key part of our lives. Albert is only joining us for a short time, she says. You do whatever's right for you, Albert. You honour yourself. If you need an early night, you have an early night. But I really enjoy your inputs into that. Wow. Coffee plants take 3 years to start producing fruit. That's quite a commitment, isn't it? Here he is. Right, so I've now seen Wee Fat Shug. I feel like I've seen him before. I suppose I didn't have any expectations. I didn't expect like, oh man. But I suppose I should have done with all of his like growing history and stuff. Oh, it felt really good when I saw him, you know, like great order. Just a great man, not boring at all. I don't know why he calls himself boring. I want to create content with this man. This man's special. Now there is an apprehension around creating content with the Shug, because you know what he says. There's no way you can do it on this platform. But this man is amazing. This man is Lee levels, maybe not quite, but he's well up there. He's incredible. I want to be his friend, but he's so incredible. But he doesn't use WhatsApp, and he's, I don't know how we can be friends, as in how we can contact each other. But yeah, Wee Fat Shug can hold himself, has met himself, is now a teacher, an amazing man, absolutely leading the way, and to put a face to it and an energy to it, as in a felt. I know I can feel through the comments, but like obviously it's more when you see on video, and then it's more when you meet someone in person. But yeah, I just when I saw you on video, I just felt my heart expand. I really, really like you, Shug. I would go as far as to say, look at you, not in a sucky way. Wee Fat Shug used to love the Dead Kennedys. One of their songs was "Holiday in Cambodia." Jello Biafra, something like that, heavily influenced my cynicism in the 70s. Then decades later, promoted Rajabi. Oh, a lifetime of respect and gone. Devastating, isn't it? When there's someone you look up to and value, and then you're like, oh right, they're one of them. But to be honest, I'm totally over it. And now I just assume they're all one of them. But there was a time where, let me try and think of an example. No, Trump destroyed me. Trump was the one for me. Trump was the one that I had to go into a big process over. Of acceptance. You know, because I put all my faith in him, and you know, to the point of like white hats and QAnon and all that. And you know, I was trusting the plan, and it gave, you know, just like a Christian with Jesus, it gave me a great external false hope, which meant I didn't need to meet myself, I didn't need to do any work, I didn't need to take any responsibility. It was great. I could just put it all on Trump. I mean, I realized it was one of them, and it was a huge process. But that was it for me. That was the end of it. Once I processed that, but I was never going to allow somebody to do that to me again. Oh, Rick, you're awful. I mean, are you actually, is this the levels you're going to? So Rick is now saying, is this a cult? Yeah, we're a cult and we're proud of it. We're creating a culture. So it's, you know, that's a cult. What do you think a cult is? It's you know, it's a community that live by a certain culture. I mean, the sickest one is obviously society, and we actually call it culture, and that's obviously a massive cult. And then anyone who tries to break out of that, they create their own culture. So yeah, of course this is a cult, and I'm very proud of that. You're just made very low vibrational. I'm so happy to let go of your £20 a month and just, you know, reflect exactly what you are. I'm not even going to do that episode now. You're not even worth it. You're just pathetic. Which makes sense, because you remember on Not Today Satan, you always bang on about Not Today Satan content. You know, you're not here for this. You're an external Not Today Satan. Rick Heskey is gone. I'm not going to block him. He's not being nasty. He's just showing himself for what he is. Oh God, so defensive. Like, how do I know that they can only perceive from their own level of perception, and they can only deal with life as much as they've learned to. But like, how do they not see how, like, it's like a 4-year-old like having a tantrum? Like, it's so embarrassing. Like, just open, surrender. Tell me I'm wrong. Defend yourself, but don't do it from a 3-year-old energy. It's defensive and pathetic and nasty and contorted. Just be like, no, this is my truth, and please read that out and speak into that. And you know, I'm not here to attack you. The fact that you've assumed that it's attack shows how in fear, guilt, and shame you are. Sweetie, can I use your name? I didn't answer her question, is that right? I'm cool and there's no words. What was her question? Yeah, I did. Maybe I assume that was written before I answered it. Not really. I'm not a big reader. The best book I've ever read is King, Warrior, Magician, Lover by Moore & Gilbert. All about archetypes. This is for men. There is a version for women, which I forget the name of. If you're new to spirituality, A Power of Now is very good. If you're new to spirituality, The Monk That Sold His Ferrari is very good, and The Alchemist is very good. The Body Knows the Score is fantastic. That's about all I can recommend, I'm afraid. Yeah, but it's also fear. So a tribe called Duff, who won't confirm whether I can use her name or not. I agree, it's clever to have a wee buffer for your safety. So yeah, like from a practical, fear-based perspective, it's very, very wise. But if I'm really trusting and flowing and just knowing that demonic attacks can't touch me, then oh my God, we've got the tranny in the chat. What are you doing here? I don't think you're going to last long. Yeah, it's not where I'm at now. I think I value, but then there's also the self-saboteur. You know, he's a self-saboteur trying to get me in jail again. It's a complex one. Okay, so Jim's gone back to practical stuff. Great. Because, you know, you can't do anything else. This guy next to me charges about £1 $1 plant, and they are already 1 year old. He starts them at the beginning of the rainy season every day and sells them. Just so that is, you know, I think what you're suggesting is that's a hell of a lot of work. You know, he spent 1 year pouring his hopefully love, but certainly time into these plants, and then he sells them for 75p. So locals have a low income. Oh, right. You probably have further down. Can you speak more into money laundering? Very interesting, and why that makes everything expensive. And then, are locals living like? Do they have quite a low income? Like, how does that work? Sounds like a fascinating country. Oh, am I really that far behind? Shit. Right, we've got some more amazing people, I think. Oh, this one's great. Enemies, where are you from? It's a very interesting name, and I'm so bad at this. Like, my geography is awful, but Egypt comes up for me for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe it's just Enemies, Egypt, potentially. Vic, great, massive supporter, thank you. Do you not want a question answering, or will you just be generous? Bless you guys, thank you so much. Hugely appreciate it. Look at this tranny horrible thing. Are you gonna tell me? I demand. I've just chopped my peanut. Oh God, such an awful person. Like, so this is the worst person in the chat. This is way worse than this Vic Heskey. This is inverted demon. Vic Heskey is obviously has demonic attachments like 99% of people. But Vic Heskey is just a, you know, he's a good, like, you know, Vic Heskey is at least right wing. This is a living. This is like full on possession. And I think this one might be chocolate on their body. I don't know if it, just judging by the profile picture. Oh yeah, let's pick it up. I've never actually properly looked because obviously they're completely insignificant. So I don't know if they are an actual T. Let's get them on the screen. How do I do this again? And they've changed their name. It used to be. Oh no, maybe I'm getting confused with someone else actually. Yeah, I could be getting confused with someone else. Right, how do I do this? Let's click on that. Hang on. I'm still pretty crap at this. But it's worth it. I want to investigate this horrible demon. EX/H8V. 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 Because obviously no one's going to know who this demon is. No one gives a F about this unless they've got blue hair and a septum piercing, and they still don't care. They just validate each other. HAV, was it? Oh God, it's disgusting. Oh God, it's such a demon. Oh, and guess what? It's one video is some demon singing. Is it Pete? That horrible tranny thing that went on Big Brother? Oh God, this person makes me feel sick. It's not even a person. Oh my God, I actually feel sick. Oh wow. Oh wow, I can feel your energy. Oh my God, it's very bad. Oh, this is heavy, right? We can't do this for long. I can't be in this presence for too long. But let's just have a quick look at this demon. Just horrendous. Oh my God, I can really feel it. This person is effed. Right, sadly, I can't really see that. Oh, right, can I make this my whole screen? Yes, I can. Well, I don't think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Is that a man? Right, let me go on. Not stop sharing. Oh God, how do I go? Oh yeah, let me go on the Facebook side. So that's this. Right, so more about their channel. 2021 subscriber, obviously. This is all they've got. I don't want to play it really. It's going to be demonic. I don't want to put any demonic stuff on my high vibing channel. But let's just get rid of this demon. It's just not. Like, why are we doing this? But yeah, I can feel it. I can feel your demonic Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. I am now in Sayamri. I've got to move. I'm just going to scroll. Oh, hang on, we are at the bottom of the chat. Okay, let's go back up. I'm not saying anything that I don't know what it is. You have to explain what it is. So Vic didn't put anything on her super chat, but actually has super chat. Obviously, will be her. So members, Patreon members, and donators obviously get prioritized. Can I use your bloody name or not? It's fine if I can't, but can you tell me, please? The light, Vic, the light healer massage lady was amazing. Yeah, it's not massage, it's way beyond massage. It's body work, but it's not just body, like Jim Dandy's body worker, or, you know, they call it chiropractor in the mainstream, but, you know, for me, it's body work. But this woman does it with intuition, where I doubt Jim Dandy does. Jim Dandy does it with high-functioning ego and lots of knowledge, which is, I'm sure he's a very good chiropractor, absolutely. But I don't think he's anywhere near this woman who understands, you know, who's done the work. She's surrendered. So, you know, you only know if you've experienced it, and Jim hasn't experienced it. So she knows, like, in the next episode I share, I have to switch off the camera because it gets too deep for YouTube. You know, demons like that will just like all over it. So she's in my solar plexus, and she's like, this is sexual. This is sexual trauma. This energy that you're feeling now. And I'm like, ah! And then she starts asking me questions around that, so the camera gets switched off. You know, that's how deep it goes. So she's using intuition. She's incredible. Like, she's beyond. She's I think you called her a light worker or something like that. Light healer, yeah. You know, she's a healer is really how to describe it. She's beyond a body worker. So, you know, if you're watching that and being like, oh, I want that, the only way you'll get it is with her. Like, yes, there's going to be other body workers who have met themselves and used their intuition, but it won't be the same. I'm not saying it won't be as good. Like, and some people may even be. There will be someone on this earth that's better. But what she delivers, only she delivers. And it's the deepest, most loving, most aware, most aligned, most full experience from her own journey that I have come across so far. And of course, your external reflects your internal. So in a year's time, when I'm genuinely like some fucking ethereal being just floating in front of the camera and you won't even be able to see me, then I would have met somebody that makes her look crap. You know, I mean, obviously, crap is definitely one word. She'll never be crap. But, you know, what I'm saying is, you know, there will be people on totally higher levels, but I'm not ready for them. And I don't need them. Like, she's more than enough. She's amazing. She's, you know, in terms of the collective consciousness of this chat, she would change everyone's life, including Lee. Like, you know, I don't think there's anybody that's so enlightened walking this earth that she wouldn't have an impact on. She's incredible. Like, she's right up there. Now, obviously, I can only speak from my perspective. So, obviously, the external reflects your internal. So, I'm speaking of the people that I've met, because obviously the universe isn't going to send me somebody that's way beyond me. Like Lee feels way beyond me, and that's as far as there's no point the universe sending me anyone beyond Lee, because I can barely take Lee in. I mean, I can. Like, he's amazing. You know, I don't need, like, I can't learn everything that Lee is offering me right now. So why would the universe send me more than that? And the same applies to her. I like that. I've just seen the title of a video which answers my question. So I think the title is "I'm in a new country and it rocks." So you knew that it was Cambodia because you know Cambodia rocks. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. The only issue is the heat, but it's rainy season right now. Oh, she's just phenomenal, and she doesn't care. That's why she's, you know, she's done the work. She's not trying to be a beautiful soul or look a certain way or be a certain, like she's just what she is. She's just what she's experienced. And she's been on a deep healing journey, like a deep healing journey. Her childhood's quite traumatic. She talks about it in a video, so I can talk about it. I don't know if it's been shown yet, but I think it might be the next video. She's abandoned by her mum at a young age. So out here, in her language, out in Vietnam, in her language, they love, oh, look, I can almost do the, wow, it's not, how's it got so long? I can almost do the gay love and light, I'm a spiritualist. Slick, I bet Jim's got one of it. She was abandoned by her mother and she has sexual trauma as a child. It's an apartment, a very high-end apartment. Well, it's just reality, mate. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, water myself down and not teach you all from my experience, which is what I'm here to do. So you're obviously not ready to lean into yourself. You could say learn, but actually, you know, lean into yourself. So you'll make this projection, and it will frustrate you because you just want to be entertained. You want to be kept in the external, and I'm like this, pushing you into the external. So of course you think it's embarrassing. But actually, it's you that's embarrassing, mate, because you're doing this, and that's not what I'm here for. So you shouldn't be watching my content. You should be watching some pleb content that keeps you in the external. Bumblebee. Online coffee is around £7 to £9 for 500 grams, but can go up to £16 or even higher. That's for beans. What are you talking about? Cambodia? Where are you? You know, can you provide some context? Cambodia, Costa Rica, England. Oh, here's the context. That's in Sheffield. Yeah, so I've been out of, is it 18 months yet? No, it's just over a year. So the prices were obviously skyrocketing because of the cost of living crisis. It's a temporary crisis, everyone. It's not an agenda and a plan and only going one way. It's just a temporary crisis. I love how they do that. I hate how they do that, obviously, but I love how people fall for it. I hate how people fall for it. But it is, you know, you have to laugh. So it's now £7 to £9 for 2 of those bags. So when I was there, yeah, it probably wasn't. So it's probably a £5. You could get, I think, 250 grams. I feel like it might have been 500 grams from Lidl, and they had that obviously the deluxe range. If you shop in Lidl, it has to be the deluxe range, and it's pretty good if you get the deluxe range. Just never ever buy their garlic bread. Oh my god, I'll never forget when I bought a garlic bread for 20 pence or something, and I put it in the oven, and when I took it out, the bread hadn't like gone crispy, or like I like my garlic bread and pizzas to be slightly burnt and charcoal. You know, it didn't even have the ability to do that. It was just sloppy, and it was just, well, I'll tell you, you'll know why it was sloppy when I say the next bit. It was warm, but it was soggy and horrible, and the garlic had just turned to water. So it was like dough with a garlic pool in it. It was the worst thing I'd ever seen. The thing with, I mean, obviously, all supermarkets in England are just selling, you know, poison. But Lidl's an interesting one. If we just accept that, Lidl's an interesting one in terms of you can get some really good quality stuff in there. Good quality stuff. There's nothing good in a supermarket, but you know, as supermarkets go, you can get some good quality stuff in there. You know, like comparable to Sainsbury's, not Waitrose, but comparable to Sainsbury's quality if you're buying the deluxe stuff. But then you can get some absolute, like, comparable to Jack Fulton's or something like that. You know, just absolute shite out of the freezer section, particularly. Let's see, is Jim cracking or is he still in Ego? Of course, he'll still be in Ego. I went to Life Chiropractic. It's not scientific or mechanical, but yeah. So it's great knowledge. Great knowledge. Are you ever going to come in here, Jim? Are you ever going to surrender? Are you ever going to become embodied? Knowledge, and your knowledge is right up there, mate, way beyond mine. It's fantastic, but it's also used by the ego to keep you in the ego. Spec. People are quick to insert themselves into the victim group, criticized group. Yeah, I mean, everyone's a victim until we leave self-worth. Like we're you know, we're socialized to be that. You know, everyone. You know, I mean, the LGBT community, the blue hairers, like they're just the perfect extreme example of this. But everyone, I'll never forget when, for the first time, I saw this in myself. I was what's she called? Ola, Polish, amazing, but you know. Oof, very spiritual ego, but amazing. Had some real intuition. Was way beyond me at the time. I'm pretty sure I'll be beyond her now. But so I'm lying down. So I'm running this community. I've got all the plebs around me, a load of guys, and this Polish angel walks in, and very attractive woman. Both physically and energetically, you know, like, you know, she turns heads. And we start chatting. And if I remember right, it's her and like 8 men. Obviously, at this time, I'm fully gay. So I'm not, you know, I can acknowledge her beauty, but I'm not drooling on the floor. But the other 7 men are all just drooling on the floor. And she's talking to us all, but she's certainly focusing on me. Anyway, next minute I'm on a sofa like this, and she's doing, you know, a lesser version of what you've seen with Nguyen, the bodyworker in Vietnam. And things are moving, and tears are flowing, I think. And later, and later on, all the plebs around F off, and it's just me and her. And she goes, "When are you going to stop being a victim?" And I was like, "What? I run this business. What do you mean I'm a victim? I'm a highly functioning, very successful man. External. And she really broke it down for me how everyone is addicted to being a victim, and how it's, you know, it's you know, because ultimately the spiritual journey starts with taking responsibility, and then that turns into courage, and then that turns into trust. So she explained, you know, victim culture to me, and reflected to me how I was being a victim. And rather than doing a Jim Dandy and getting defensive and doing this, I surrendered and felt it and accepted it. And it was the first time I was like, damn, I'm a victim. Well, sorry, not I'm a victim. I see myself as a victim, i.e. it's the opposite of taking responsibility. So it's deeply woven into all of us. You have to do a lot of self-work to even see it. In this case, the opposite of that. Let's start again. So Sven, please, people, let's start again. People are quick to insert themselves into a victim group / criticized group. In this case, office workers. So I think you're referring to Jim twisting his beautiful profession just so he could attack me, because that's how egoic he is. It's okay if you're an outlier too. You need to clutch your pearls. I'm not entirely sure about the last sentences in understanding. I'm not saying I don't agree with, but the whole victim thing is just fucking huge, absolutely huge. Right, here we go. Jim is going to explain why money laundering in Costa Rica affects the price of goods. The influx of money creates the inflation. Yeah, makes sense. More money chasing the same goods, speculating on the same land. Right, so maybe my understanding of money laundering isn't quite correct. So I was thinking that it doesn't actually get spent on anything, but you actually launder money by buying stuff, don't you? So the vape shops. Yeah, but they're not really selling anything, are they? So they set up these vape shops, and yeah, they sell a few fucking vapes, but basically drug money comes in, or people trafficking or whatever. No product gets sold, but it does get registered and tax gets paid on it. So I'm still a little bit confused how it actually affects the price, because they're not actually buying anything. Unless they buy land to clean the money or something like that. So I still feel I need a bit more information. Because I'm not as knowledgeable as you, I'm not as intelligent as you, but I am way deeper and more surrendered than you. Yeah, this is incredible. I've spoken about this in my lives as well. How come when you're dying for a poo, your arsehole knows when you're seconds away from sitting on? It's incredible, isn't it? So basically, I've spoken into this in videos before, English refugee videos, where like you can know you need a poo for 2 hours and it can be getting a bit desperate and you're really having to clench, but you know, you're not gonna poo your pants. And then the minute I would say it's not even the door, sadly, it's like, you know, 500 feet from the door. It's just like the body knows. I mean, the body knows the score, and it just unleashes, man. So, guys, I have just done the best poo I've done. I can't even remember. I got a plop. It's the first plop I've had in so long. By plop, I mean boop. So, in today's English refugee video, I speak into today's for 7. But what some filming I did in the last 24 hours whilst traveling through an airport. I speak into. So basically, I've just been a gushing waterfall ever since I met the bodyworker and before, because it begins with there's a better word for releasing. Let's go with releasing. You know, you're releasing emotional trauma through the asshole, particularly root chakra trauma, particularly sexual trauma. So my poos have been very, is it beginning with P? Purging, that was the word I was looking for. My poos have been very, what people would call diarrhea. I get Cleb saying I need to go to a doctor. It's so funny. Like when I'm breaking it all down, I know we won't watch the bodywork ones, but I'm breaking it all down. I'm, you know, really explaining it. I'm showing it. I'm even showing me squirting in the woods. And they're like, we need to go to that. It's just so sad. But these are, you know, very low vibing beings. So in the video today, I just come out of the toilet in the airport like with a big smile on my face, and I've done well, it's 1, but it's split into 3 because it's not perfectly solid yet. But I've done 3 soft logs. So you know, if you were to pick them up, they would, your hand, if you were to pick it up, a bit on your hand would stay in log shape, but the bit out here would go like that. You know, it's still not solid, but it is in log shape. And it didn't make a plop, but it, you know, it hit the water rather than just pebble dashing everywhere. And I was really happy with that. I was like, wow, yeah, this is a sign that that period is done. And of course, there'll be another period of deep purging and release soon, because that's the way my life is, because I'm fully leaning in. But you know, I've got a bit of a break. I've got a bit of a respite. It's fantastic. And then before this live, like, oh my God, like it was a stretcher. It was just amazing. If you ever think about this place, it's the best Asian bum gun I've ever experienced. Like, it's like, you know, orgasmic. It's just so good, like the consistency of the water. I guess what it is, I haven't really looked, but I think there's more. So basically, bum guns, like I show you the one in the hut that I just had. It's the worst one I've ever experienced. And that one, you could very much see like this line of water, this line of water, this line of water. So it's sharp on the asshole. It's like a lot of little daggers and waterfall. This one, you can't see the lines. It's all one consistent, like. So I imagine there's a lot of holes. I'm not sure why it is like that, but it's just better to me. It's the best Asian bum gun ever. So before this stream, I did a real, you know, it stretched my ass. It gave the best plop. I might have even got some splashback. I can't remember. It was just, I can't remember the last time I did a poo that good. I don't think it smelled too bad either. So yeah, that's thanks for bringing up the poo chat. We like poo chat on the show. I wouldn't be here right now without coffee. What would we do about coffee? But now that I'm not smoking ganja, oh yeah, so I was really tested tonight. Not really tested. I you know, it came up twice, and then I realised like, oh no, you just haven't smoked a cigarette for 12 hours. That's all it is. Obviously, by that I mean organic roll. So Lee's partner likes the green herb. So the minute I sit down with her, I'm like, damn, that smells good. And of course, I can feel that part of me. We can call it ego, we can call it addict. It's like, get some. The owner of this place, you know, is completely avoiding himself, so he drinks and smokes non-stop. So, you know, very, very accessible. So it's the first time in my life I've had direct access, not even direct. In my life, if I have known that within an hour's drive I can get some green herb, I have got some green herb. Not only is this like I sat next to someone smoking some green herb and I still didn't smoke any. So that's huge. I'm liking this angle. Sure. When Jello turned out to be a shill and when Metallica brought out the Black album in the 90s, two of the saddest events of my life, yeah, I bet, man. I bet. I think this is really equivalent to my Trump awakening. Oh God, he's gonna get, so he's gonna go from defensive to attack now. He's really showed himself up. This is so bad. I've never seen a grifter like you before. It's like submission grifting and nobody is worthy, so they send money to feel worthy. Oh, bless him. Look at the level of projection and self-avoidance this man lives in. Like, he's even using the word, I mean, what is a grifter? So basically a grifter is something that is a projection of the office worker. Like, obviously the biggest grifter is the office worker, like selling your soul, having no purpose, not creating, not putting into the universe, just taking and surviving, total service to self. So this whole grifter concept comes from the office worker, the plebs, the slaves projection. It's just jealousy, basically. Why is creating for yourself and providing incredible service, and even if it's just entertainment, let alone all my enlightened stuff, let's just say it's entertainment. Why is that grifted? You know, these people, without the entertainers, without the YouTubers, they'd end themselves. Yet they're grifting. The people that are keeping them alive are grifting. It's just the saddest thing I've ever seen. You're very close to being banned, Vic. Just so that you know. The only reason you're not getting banned is because you've donated money in the past. But I know that's going to end now because you are hugely triggered. So I might as well just ban you because you offer nothing. You are very low vibrational and you have, so you're holding a lot of inner child trauma and you're coming from that trauma. And it feels like it's hard to put an exact age on it, but you know, it's definitely 10 years or less. It feels like it's between a 7 and 10-year-old inner child trauma. What happens to you between the years of 7 and 10? But of course, you won't ask yourself that question. You'll just keep projecting. Sure. The Black album was a solid matte black with a serpent printed in UV varnish. So you've been awake 40 years, so you just saw that straight away, right? The Abyss. Tell us more about The Abyss. I knew they had killed the real Hetfield Eve. Right, so they were good people and then they got replaced by shapeshifters. Is that what we're saying? Whatever you say, I know will be correct. So this guy's a pleb. Mate, who have you got moderating that other channel? But yeah, good. You're a pleb. I've got very good moderators. There's a very good reason why you've been putting time out. Let's do it again. Let's time out this pleb. Not quite ready to be banned, but he's not far off. This one's gone quiet. In fact, I'm not going to put them on the screen, but that whole Buddy Monic thing we looked at has gone quiet. I mean, they're just putting emojis in the chat now, which says it all. Don't bother, Tom. I'm not much of a groupie. Oh no, I don't want to put them on the screen. Sorry, I shouldn't. We all have. Everyone in this chat has demonic attachments, but this one is fully possessed. Hi Tom, where are you now, mate? I'm insane. Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf. That's a good name. On the journey. But you know what? What I didn't realise is the isolation is an inevitable part of the journey because one has to meet oneself. And the video I created with Lee today really goes into this. But actually, what's really beautiful is I'm just touching upon now. You do rejoin community, but you have to go through a deep journey yourself first. Yeah, absolutely, Spen. That I mean, I don't know if Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood was obviously pushing things, but yeah, I like where you're going with it, man. Like that thing needs like it's proper, like it's fully possessed. It's fully possessed. It's not just energetic attachments. It's fully possessed. I think Rick Heskey as well, and because he's so traumatized, because he's so operating from being a child, like that opens you up to serious demonic attack. Hello, Kenny, you beautiful little Irish pixie. I love you. Hee, Debbie, you would be good. It's just choo. Isn't it good to know her name? A tribe called Dove, a tribe called Dove. I hate it. No, I don't hate her name. I just hate having to say all that. Jim, I studied directly with the fact, yeah, but it's study, it's mind, so you don't get it. Like, you've not surrendered, so you can only perceive from your level of perception, and you keep trying to explain yourself through the external. And you've said to me, like, me and Jim were exchanging WhatsApp messages at one point. And he said to me, you know, he didn't obviously use the word understand because he was trying to come from above, but he was like, I don't see things as internal and external. So that's when I knew. Yeah, so you can't perceive me. You can't perceive what I'm saying. You have never been adjusted by me. Also, so I would absolutely have a chiropractor session with you. I think you will be, in terms of the mainstream, one of the best chiropractors in the world. I have no doubt. And if I ever met you, I would absolutely be honored to have a chiropractic session with you. The unconscious pussy played his own video back to his viewers today and almost lost the plot, wanting to know why the armed commenter. Yeah, he's completely of the ego. You know, he'll say, very similar to Drew, and will say, I don't care, I'm not about money, blah, blah, blah. But then you can see, like, half of their content is, why does no one comment? Why does no one watch? The ego is hurting. It's hurting. So I like how. Oh yeah, Rachel, I want to give you a reflection, a positive one. I've definitely seen a change in you in the last few weeks. The last week. There's a humbling occurring. There's a deepening occurring. I still would like to see the words from you. I am not enlightened, and then you can, for you, not for my ego, not at all. I don't want to humiliate you. That's not and it shouldn't be. If you are deepening like I think you are, you would get why I want you to do that, and it isn't about humiliation at all. It's for you. It would be really good to see you acknowledge that, and then I would know that something really is shifting. Now, also a reflection of where you're at. What I see in this is you trying to be my friend. So you try to get my attention through jealousy and shame, because that's basically all you know. So at first it was, I love the unconscious pussy. He's better than you. I'm watching him now, assuming that's going to make me jealous, because that would make you jealous. Obviously, you can never contact me, but you know, on your level, a friend rings one of her other friends instead of you, that makes you jealous. So you can only perceive from that level, or you certainly could. Now you're trying to suck my D by going along with what you think I want to hear, which is slagging him off. So you're still obviously very external and egoic and unsurrendered. But I have seen a shift. So we're coming from, like, you know, absolute delusion, claims of enlightenment, when one hasn't even taken a breath. To how have I seen it? I mean that's a shift, going from not really, like, you're going from trying to make someone jealous to sucking ass. So it's still very, you know, doesn't really make any difference. But what have I seen? I've seen, yeah. So I've seen. Whilst I haven't seen you take accountability. Yeah, I haven't seen you go, okay, thank you, Tom. Thank you for reflections. Through your reflections, I have realised that I was deluding myself around enlightenment, and I am a clever. Because self-awareness is the first stage, along with responsibility and, well, yeah, they're the first two stages. So I really hope I see that, for your sake. But what I have seen is, yeah, so there's no longer any claims around that. And there's more authenticity in your shares. I think I've seen a couple of shares that touch, and I mean touch, as in like a little stroke from the tip of the little finger. They touch upon vulnerability. Are you talking about a bodywork video, Kerry? So she's saying the whole video is very interesting. Right, so the thing about these bodywork videos, they're my best videos. Now, that might change how I'm creating content with Lee, but they're way better than the videos I create on my own in terms of information, in terms of you seeing how healing works. However, you have to work for it. And I've done that deliberately. Obviously, I could have edited it and give you all the shouty bits and just me and her talking or me screaming, and then it would have got twice as many views. But I was like, no, like this isn't for the masses. This is really deep. And personally, you know, it's like someone, like particularly the next episode or maybe 2 episodes. I think there's another 3. In total, I think there's 7 episodes of her. I'm not sure if I've shared 3 or 4 yet. But yeah, the next 2 episodes, you know, from my perspective, you know, I'm sharing my deepest, darkest stuff. So, I'm not quite. I switch the camera off when it gets to the really, really gritty stuff, which I would love to not do. It's not because I'm scared of sharing it. It's because you don't deserve it. Or as a collective consciousness, you don't deserve it. Someone like Kerry deserves it, but Rachel doesn't. So, I'm not going to... I'm not going to expose my inner child to the unconscious masses, to that degree. I do expose it a lot. So I think it's really good what I've done. I've sacrificed views for only allowing the right. There's no way Rachel can sit through that, for example, because she needs dopamine hits. So it's all the special ones, so that's why I didn't edit it. I want you to work for it. And also, if I was to edit it and chop out the exciting dopamine hit bits, only have the dopamine hit bits in, then actually, so I don't watch my videos back, other than lives. But what I do is I'll put them on just for algorithms and mute them, so I see my videos. I don't sit and watch them, but I'll be doing something and I'll see this. I didn't realise that gun she has. I saw this today. I didn't realise it flashed a red light, which just looks cool. So that'll be infrared light. Obviously, it's not just for fun; it's healing. And I didn't realise how much. Obviously, it's because I'm a bit of a fatty, but I didn't realize, and also because that gun is amazing. I didn't realise how much like my body ripples. I thought I knew I was moving and reacting to it, but I didn't realise that when she touches. No, I haven't done. I get, Jim, why do I get this posture, I'm sure? Why does my pubic bone right at the bottom get so sore? And it's nothing to do, I haven't been bumped for ages. I suffer with this a lot. I assume it's the way I sit, I assume it's bad posture, but I really, and also it's definitely linked to driving a scooter. But I really suffer with a sore pubic bone. Please explain. Why am I stood up? Why am I showing you my ass? Oh yeah, I don't think it was that important, is it? So she touches me here, and like you see it all moving here, and the whole body reacting, like just incredible. Best videos I've ever created, I think. Depending on what perspective you're coming from, of course. Yeah, I mean, I already know what he is. So, Rachel, the comments won't give me enough space to finish what I'm saying about him. I have no room left to type on. Question mark. I don't fucking know. It's YouTube. I mean, yeah, I mean, certainly on my videos, I get some comments like this. There's certainly no limit on videos. I don't know if lives are different, but I wouldn't have thought so. I think you're just, you know. Yeah, I'm not interested. Like, I know exactly what he is. I've said it myself. I don't need you to suck my D by, you're doing the typical pleb thing, like trying to get validation from me by agreeing with me. But you're a leaf blowing in the wind. If I said he was fantastic, you'd be saying he's fantastic. It means nothing. It's boring. Jim, network chiropractic is essential bodywork without massage. I'm sure it is. It's all about the flow of breath through the spine. Yes, but this can still be intellectual. This is intellectual, but fantastic. The best intellectual on the planet, and connecting pockets of trauma intellectually in the body with function pieces of space. Yeah, great. So the ego is high functioning and can understand all of this, but the body hasn't felt it yet. Now, of course, there will be to a degree, but you're not embodied, you're not surrendered. It's very clear. But you are the best at what you do, and you are one of the most intelligent men on the planet. Oh dear. I assume this one has been called. I don't understand why it still shows me the comments if they've been called. But there's no way Debbie would have let that demon in. Now I mean, she might have called the demon that I brought up earlier as well. But for me, that's just yeah. In fact, any demons want to call him. Sure. I recall a time I fell asleep on the train drunk, woke up in Sheffield Station. Nice station, Sheffield, very nice. And it's got a great pub attached to it. The Sheffield Tap, is it? Fantastic. So they found the Sheffield Tap. I think this is right. The Sheffield Tap had been was in a chamber. Like it had been picked up. And they found it one day, and I think quite recently. I don't know where they found it. And yeah, I could be chatting shit here. What I'm almost certain of is they weren't aware of it. I'm sure that is true, but I have no idea on timescales, and I may just be linking it to my drinking life. But it feels like it opened up when I was about 30, but it could have been way before that. Maybe I just wasn't aware of it. Maybe I just started drinking in nicer establishments. But so connected to this train station, if you like pubs and you're in Sheffield, go to Sheffield. I think it's the best pub in Sheffield. It's right up there. Sheffield Tap. I mean, obviously, no bioweapons won't go in there. It's too good for bioweapons. Like it will just repel them energetically. And they found this incredible old pub. And I don't know if it's one of those where they've got all the brewing metal things. I'm going to say casks, but that's probably the wrong word. Casks. So I assume they're the originals. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it's incredible, and it's all like Thornbridge and craft ales. It's wonderful. So he was in Sheffield train station, luckily able to call a friend in Doncaster. So he fell asleep drunk on the train. Where were you trying to get to? Spent the entire weekend getting drunk in a bikers club. I don't know Doncaster at all. Good people, real, very working class. I imagine you would like Doncaster people. I would like Doncaster people as well. You're going to get a lot of builders and real men and very little wokeism. Good people in Doncaster, real people, English people, the type of people that voted for Brexit, not that obviously still, they're going to feel conscious of this. But it's that sort of energy. It's like F the system, we're real, we're not indoctrinated, we haven't been to university. Of course they're still indoctrinated and will now be like reformed and we'll believe in voting and stuff, but not indoctrinated to blue hair, septum piercing levels. What? Debbie, it's hit and miss every week in supermarkets. Every day, loads of food is mouldy on the day you buy it. What? I never experienced that. That's new. Or maybe it's just a reflection of your internal, Debbie. Maybe you're mouldy inside. Obviously, you're beautiful inside, but you know, maybe what I'm saying is maybe it's just happening to you for a reason, or maybe this, you know, other people will confirm if this is a wider thing. And maybe it's the universe talking to you, is what I'm saying. There's no criticism of it. And I don't know why I'm doing that, because I know you don't do events and you're way past it. Just heard my neighbour. So this is how bad that hole is. He just put down a spoon or a fork on the table and I heard it. So obviously he's hearing this live stream. But I had to listen to his music all night and I'm going to move out of here tomorrow. And I did pre-warn him, so okay. I had a mouldy experience. Oh my God, I've had some horrendous experiences recently with food. So, just get a bit put off by that. As in like, you know, ooh, this isn't good, but anyway, it is what it is. So I've had maggots in bananas again, and I get it on camera this time. And then I bought some yogurts, and 2 out of 4 of them were mouldy. Can we get some acknowledgement, please, for this woman's journey? Please, please, please help this woman. Please, please, please allow her to add words. I am not enlightened, for her own sake. It was about being important, and he makes reference to himself being a god a lot. I think I am done with him. What do you think Aaron's issue is, Tom? So he hasn't surrendered. He hasn't met himself. Now, you won't understand what that means because neither of you. But he's still in the external. He's still in the ego. So he's a high-functioning ego, just like Jim Dandy. Not as good as Jim Dandy, but you know, same. All knowledge based, and there's lots of knowledge. So this is how the ego becomes high functioning. High intellect, first of all, high natural gifted intellect. Lots of knowledge, so book reading. So Zen masters, or a Zen master that Alan Watts speaks about, will not take someone like the awakened Baba. Because what is actually happening here is the ego is reinforcing itself and it's become highly advanced, high functioning. So you'll never get through to him because he'll have an answer for everything from the ego, and he'll be able to quote Nietzsche and all these different people. And so the ego reinforces, so it's become spiritual ego now. So the ego doesn't care how it's controlling you or tricking you or keeping you safe from its opinion, as long as it has you hoodwinked, as long as it's running the show. So that can be like, you know, as a very low vibing person, as a Libby, or it can be as the awakened babe, but it's all still ego. It's still on the spectrum of ego. Obviously, is this better? You know, because really, in terms of better, it's not about what's more impressive. It's about who is closer to surrendering and breaking through, but it will look like a breakdown. And potentially it's for Libby. Because for Libby is very much of the ego, but it's very fragile. You know, it's all based on lies. Whereas Jim Dandy and Awakened Babe, it's based on a lot of truths. You know, we've read a lot of books that give truths. So the ego is performing this incredible dance with them, and they're just captivated by it. So, you know, it's probably better to be a Libby than be like the Awakened Babe. But if he did surrender and he did break through, then obviously he would propel very fast. Same for Jim Dandy, because they have all the knowledge. But it's very hard. I don't quite know how one breaks from that point. Because the Libby breaks when the reality proves when their ideology is incorrect, which, you know, is happening en masse, and can only, you know, like, obviously they're not going to be able to hold on to that ideology past Agenda 2030. So, you know, at most, the Libby has 4 years left before they crash. The Awakened Babe, he could go his whole lifetime. But, you know, what's really interesting is he doesn't even understand, like, external stuff. Like, he's not clear on whether Elon Musk is a demon or not. He's not clear on whether spinning globe theory is a lie or not. Like, he actually is quite incredible. Yeah, he's very angry. He's very, very angry because he hasn't met himself. He hasn't met his inner child. Now, if you won't have watched it, because it won't have been enough dopamine hits for you, but he did share, and I really recommend going back to his therapy sessions. There was one in particular that's really worth watching, where she cracks him. She cracks him, and he's like this, you know. He's up his ego. He's defensive. He's very defensive. He's criticizing her like he does, putting her down so he doesn't have to, do any of her techniques and actually crack and break. Now, I won't get into it. And then she cracks him. She absolutely cracks him, and he goes like this, and he goes into his 2-3-year-old, and he might even be crying. I don't think he quite gets to that place, but he breaks, and he goes into his inner child. And he's kind of speaking from being, he's kind of acknowledging a few things. So it's basically, like mum put herself in the oven, dad, oh no, it wasn't the mum in the oven stuff. It was dad locked me in a room and I shot myself and I was in there for days and all this, like really, really deep trauma. And he's there, he's in the 3-year-old. And then you sort of see the ego come back online and he's like, and that's, after that episode, that's when he starts criticizing her massively and writing her off. Because his ego doesn't want to feel that pain. Did that make sense for you, Rachel? Are you ready to acknowledge you're not enlightened yet? I don't care about the awakened babe. Only write a comment if you're going to comment, I am not enlightened. If not, stop commenting on this feed now. Jim, I actually work from home for a large corporation now. I haven't, oh right, so okay. I owe my assumption. I was wrong. I don't think it's a projection. I think it was just an incorrect assumption. I haven't practiced chiropractic since 2020. I'm a sales guy now. Wow, that's terrible. Why would you do that? You were working to purpose and now you're just sending out for the checkup. So I made an assumption. I was incorrect. Jim did not twist his fantastic purposeful job just to attack me. He actually is an office working player. So he was honest. Albus is off on his adventures. Have fun. Oh, Albus. I'll start a stream one day where, obviously I'm not going to show your videos because they're not aligned with my content, but I'm no doubt they're beautiful for people who want to watch dog videos. But one day I will start a stream with one of your videos playing just so we get to see Albus. Yeah, absolutely. Remind me what omnipresent means. Omni means one, doesn't it? So one presence with oneness, is that right? But you're just amazing, mate. You're just fucking amazing. I put you up there with Lee. I think Lee is perhaps slightly more amazing. I think you... How far? I'll let you tell us how far you think you've gone on the internal journey with what people call spirituality. Are you in oneness? Are you living in oneness, or are you still living in duality? Lee lives in oneness, so I'd be interested to hear if you do as well. And I know whatever you say will be true because you're very self-aware and you're for the truth. Why is this pleb up again? Let's just put someone else up. Yeah, so I've been very impressed by you. You clearly have deep self-awareness. You've clearly done a lot of work. You're clearly as surrendered as me, probably more. But I notice a big focus on the external, and you smash the external, like you smash it apart, and maybe that's why you're here, and I'm not criticizing that in any way. Whereas Lee is all about the internal. So that's why I would assume that Lee is kind of like this. I mean, I'm here. And that's not better or worse or anything like that. It just is what it is. So I would like to hear your evaluation of that, Shug, and whether that's correct from your perspective. Only time I suffered from Gandhi's revenge. Gandhi's, is in the Indian? That's not how you spell the Indian's name. What's Gandhi's revenge? Was when I was renovating a house with another guy. He got us filled rolls from a shop, a corner one. Gandhi's revenge. Is this some sort of mold in food, maybe? I eat it out of good manners, big mistake. Yeah, I wish I had read that comment. I didn't really understand it, and I didn't think it was a true reflection of how amazing you are. But actually, it's probably in reference to Debbie's mold comment or something like that. I never really get ill. Been filtering, distilling, and alkalizing my water for over 20 years now. Convinced it makes a difference. Yeah, I just fucking. I was going to use a pleb word, but I was going to say I worship you. Of course, I don't worship you. I'm very impressed by you and very. I feel like I learn a lot from you. And I probably pedestaled you, so I'm basically at the point where I just believe everything you say, which is probably a bit foolhardy. And based on my track record of pedestaling people, you know, there's a danger of that. But I have no doubt about this alkalizing water. Lee drinks alkalizing water. So there you go. It was great when it's fair. I mean, it's just a massive compliment. He's basically saying, I haven't seen anyone as talented as you before. Okay, great. Thanks, Debbie. Nice one. Old Rick is trying to get banned. It's his aim for today. No, he's just very defensive. Like, you know, he'd hate to get banned because he's all of the ego. The ego hates rejection. Oh no, who's got the biggest? Oh yeah, no, we're going to talk about that. Today it will give him validation. Yeah, actually there is that element to it as well. Yeah, you're quite wise. I'd like to know more about you. I'd like to know your name, your sex, at the very least. If you are willing to share that. Yeah, I mean, just a petulant child. Pathetic. Anyway, we'll never see him again. You know, he might come in and buy it. He's obviously going to cancel all his memberships and stuff now. You know, he might, the demon in him might show up again, but yeah, he's basically just going to get blocked next time he comes. But yeah, Debbie made a great decision there. If you analyze the first 4 Metallica albums, artwork and lyrics, you can understand how deep, intelligent and well informed they were. I don't know anything about them, but I'm sure you're right. I actually feared for their well-being after they released the Justice for All album. I thought it was AI before AI existed. And I was right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you know, this it doesn't scare me because I don't do fear anymore, and I know death doesn't exist. But it's like, you know, how much do you want to share your wisdom? And I'm not saying I'm at this level yet, but you know, it's inevitable. You know, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, but you know, they don't want people to wake up. So. I'm not even going to say people like me. Like, let's say someone like Lee. Like, when does he get off? Or do they just press his content so much it doesn't matter? You know, like it's scary. So if you blow up like Metallica, and I do think when they were around, I don't know. I think the music industry has been so controlled for so long, but potentially when they were around, it was possible to blow up without being, you know, signing the blood contract. So yeah, of course they're going to get off if they're big and spreading truth. Or, yeah, let's just say off, but who knows what actually happens to them. Two hours 30. Still dark, so we'll go on a bit longer, but if someone took some money, then obviously we'll go on longer. So I've had 6, 11, 13, 23 pounds. It's been a very so after YouTube's cut, I'm going to earn less than minimum wage. So can someone send me some motivating shekels, please? Yeah, you're great, Debbie. Thank you so much. You're doing such a wonderful job. And like you did with Sophie the other day, I loved your probing questions, because not with Sophie obviously, but you know, like Rachel would be a good one for you to have a go with. And obviously this is you learning as well. The next stage for you, or maybe a few more stages. Yeah, you're definitely you took responsibility years ago. You'll now encourage, next is trust, and then it's passing it on. So, so start practicing that now as you are doing, you know, like asking the plebs questions that you know, yeah. So you see, you know, when you were asking Sophie that question the other day, you know the answer. But what you're doing is you're asking the question that might allow her to see the answer. I love it. So have a go with Rachel, see if you can, because obviously, you know, these, the two people I just mentioned, you know, it could be that a woman's energy and your softness compared to me would allow them to open up more. So have a go and start practicing what you are going to be, which is a way show it soon. They went from songs like Frayed Ends of Sanity, fantastic, Twisting Under Schizophrenia, Falling Deep in the Dementia, to lyrics like Take My Hand and I'll Take You and Neverland. Says it all, says it all. Sayamut, Cambodia. Yeah, I mean, it shows up as that, so I assume this is a bit pesky. It shows up as being a knob, but actually he's a deeply wounded little boy who is living in a lot of pain. And the knob is the ego defending that. Protecting that. He's surviving. It's the only way he knows how to survive, you know, so you know, I see it for what it is. I do judge it, as in, I don't even judge it. It's not judgment, it's just here's a reflection, here's the truth. If you want it, if you want to crack, if you want to deepen, if you want a better experience of life, here it is. Over to you now. I release any attachment to it. Is the audio bad? Audio is fine. Thank you, Debbie, for coming straight in with that, because you knew that would affect me and the live and make me worried. So Debbie, within 2 comments, so we get this, then we get this, and then Debbie's on it. You are the best moderator. Obviously not the best person in the world. That's Lee. In my world, I should say. Okay, Lee, sure, I'm done with Metallica stuff. It has been very interesting, and the point has been made. I'll put it on the screen. I'm not going to read it. Oh, good to see you back, man. I'm really glad you're with us. Really glad you're with us. It takes a lot of courage to come back after the stick you have received. And I understand why you received stick. You did do a terrible job. I don't hold that against you, and it's fine. You tried and failed, and failure is fine. I failed many times in my life. But it takes a lot of courage to come back after that. So good on you. Hey up, I put one on the other day for a sleep pussy. He's obsessed because got nothing other to do than yeah. So this is the other thing. I don't care about you. I don't care about views. I don't care about YouTube. But I'm going to release 5 videos a day. And I'm even going to release like me cooking or me buying clothes, you know, like clearly trying to get views, clearly trying different avenues to get people's attention. Like it's so fucking obvious. You're an interesting one, man, because you do have some awareness. But, you know, what happened the other day came from, you know, you got defensive and you got stressed. And I'm not criticizing, this is just what happened. You got defensive and you got stressed, which was very inner child, very low consciousness, very low self-awareness. But then you can see stuff like this. You are an interesting one. To post and argue with his own shadow. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's worth watching. I mean, I don't watch him anymore because I just want like people who are there. I just want to learn from people who are there. But he was definitely part of my journey, and it is fascinating watching, you know, this shadow dance with him. As if we all got time for arguing about religion. I mean, I have no problem with content made that helps people realize that religion is a psyop. Although I agree that he is doing it from a like, I want to attack you place. The reason I've slowed down there is because obviously I'm self-reflecting and seeing that part of me as well, and I want to acknowledge that that is in me as well, but I'm aware of it, and I think it's getting, as I get softer with myself, obviously you can only treat people as you treat yourself. Like the one that is fairly easy for plebs to understand is you can't love someone until you love yourself, or it goes for everything. So obviously the harshness that I show to you is the harshness that I live with myself. So what was I talking about? Something around the dagger energy. It's gone. Yeah, aren't Yorkshiremen great, man? Where are you from, Shug? Hey, I feel like you're new or newish. Well, I haven't seen anyone else express it. So, what did we Shug say something about it? So again, like from your perspective, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just offering something that's potentially, maybe, most likely untrue, but could be true. So your perspective, so if the universe is talking to you through moldy food, reflecting something that you need to see. So let me just try and get. I've just worked out like the Veruca. Oh, you haven't seen. This is the problem with it being behind, with English refugee being behind. But I've spoken about it enough on this, I think, to make it worthwhile. So Veruca gets operated on. Veruca is gone. Veruca suddenly returns. Veruca returns just as I've learned how to walk. Veruca returns just as I've done all this body work. It makes no sense. But I do say when I'm talking about this in an English refugee video, it will make sense. I don't know why right now. Right now, it's just an absolute nuisance and frustration and why the fuck is this happening? But I know that within a week, I will be like, oh, that's why it happened. Well, I found out yesterday. So I come here and I meet Lee and his wonderful partner Maria, and she's like, oh yeah, you can cure that with fig oil. And I'm like, she was like, I used to be a doctor, oh yeah. So I started talking from a mainstream perspective of what the doctor had told me. And she was like, yeah, I know, I used to be oh no, that was it. So I walk into their apartment with my bare feet, and then I go, shit, sorry guys, I've got a Veruca. We need to clean the floor where I've just walked. Have you got a plaster I can put over it? And Lee, so she just laughs straight away. She's just like, sure. You think I'm scared of that shit? Lee certainly isn't scared, doesn't have a major reaction, but he does get a plaster. So he obviously buys into it a little bit. She doesn't buy into it at all. So I start explaining to her what the doctor said, the surgeon said. And she's like, yeah, I used to be a doctor. I know exactly what they think. Fig oil will sort it out. And then me and Lee go off and into content creation and all sorts. I think that might, yeah, that's on camera. That isn't right. So I'm on my DJI English refugee camera. She says that, and then Lee starts going deep, and we switch that off and switch to the other camera. It's on Greater X. So I don't go into it with her, but I'm going to go and sit with her today. I'm going to put the camera on as well, and I'm going to say, right, tell me all about this fig oil treatment. And basically, I think where this is leading is, whilst intellectually I have understood for a long time that everything can be cured with plants, I haven't trusted it, and I haven't researched it, and I haven't lived by it. Like when shit's hit the fan with me physically, I've gone to pharmaceutical treatment. Whilst intellectually knowing that that is ridiculous, it's killing my gut biome, and the fact I've had a mouth infection recently, like it's all coming up, all this like me having to see how disempowered I am and how much I will just take the easy route that I know is against me in every single way, spiritually, mentally, and physically. But I still do it because I'm a pleb in that regard. By which I mean, I'm not indoctrinated because I know it's all bullshit and I know there's herbal cures, but I haven't done the research required to know what they are. And obviously that's ridiculous. Like, why would you put these disgusting poisons into your body when you know there's herbal cures? Like, it's ridiculous. So the universe is going, okay, now it's time for you to learn all this stuff and totally 100% from an embodied flowing place and know that you can cure everything with herbs. And really, you know, show that to the world. So Veruca comes back, which was, you know, it was gone. And now it's really painful. Like I have to either go and get surgery again, or well, I was just about, you know, I started Googling and looking for, you know, it's hard in Cambodia. So even considering, do I need to fly back to Ho Chi Minh just to get surgery on my foot? And then suddenly I meet her and she's like, oh, fig oil. And now the whole world's going to see that. Whole world. the handful of special people who watch me are going to see that. And I'm going to, you know, fully embrace plant healing, real healing, natural healing. Now, of course, YouTube, that was all just a story. Always trust you. It was just for the same purposes. I like to play, every now and again, I like to play with all of what we call crazy conspiracy theories, theorists. It's all for entertainment. Of course, you should always trust your doctor. You should never use herbs, like obviously use pharmaceuticals, because that's what the doctor says. Always get advice from your doctor. Never listen to YouTubers. Don't use woo-woo herbal remedies for anything. Always seek doctor's advice. Right, 100%. If it's not more, all right. So Kerry is confirming what Debbie says. So it looks like it's not the universe speaking directly to you, and it's the skumduggery. Debbie, yes, tribe. And the mince is not mince no more. Even meat. Yeah. I mean, particularly coming out of America, there's some horrendous videos, aren't there, where like plastic lettuce, plastic watermelon. I've seen very concerning videos about mince. I'd be very surprised if it's still beef. Again, of course, I'm just entertaining people. Of course, there's no cannibalism going on if you eat in restaurants, like you know, particularly fast food ones. And potentially, if you're buying mince, you're definitely not being a cannibal. I can't believe people even suggest that. Of course, it's still beef. But yeah, and also parasites and all sorts of really concerning stuff. None of which is true. Always trust your doctor and your politicians. Always get your news from mainstream media. And never trust a YouTuber. This is just entertainment. Obviously, I'm playing a role. I get big shot from Sainsbury's, but starting to get more from M&S, but none are greater. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be all of them. M&S. I remember watching a video where somebody's going through all their ingredients, and it's all got that something acid in it, which is grown from mold. Tom, I think the gays have disowned you. Gonwalk needs to work his magic on you. I was never part of their tribe. I was never part of their tribe. I just like sucking some dick. I hated the scene from the minute I was on it. From the minute I experienced it. I tried to be part of it for 5 years. And by part of it, I mean just go there, take a load of E's, bounce around like a crazy frog, take someone home and boom them senseless. You know, I never wanted to be friends with them. I never wanted to be part of it. I hated it from the moment I experienced it. I tried to go to 2 prides, bearing in mind this is 20 years ago before it all became, you know, about chopping body parts off. And I hated it. And I right, what did they call me? They used to call me indie gay. So I used to go on the gay scene with a big Stone Island jacket on. So basically, you know, the energy was, fuck off, I'm not one of you, but I do want to suck some D or bum one of you senses. And so, you know, they'd all be prancing about and fagging around, as in smoking cigarettes, YouTube. And, you know, I'd be stood on the edge of my Stone Island jacket, surveying for a tweet. And then I'd go, just like I do now, like in my shadow work and all my connections, I'd go in one-on-one with the one that I wanted to abuse the arsehole of. I didn't do much of that. I received more of that than anything when I used to. The minute I did that, I was just like, Who's fisting me? Which, you know, shows, you know, it really is the devil's standoff. Like the minute I did that, possession. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't put any value to this, but you know, it kind of makes sense. You know, I remember somebody saying to me, I mean, we're a Love and Light unconscious player, but you know, this is when I was a Love and Light unconscious player, that they could see, again, it's probably all lies, they could see when they went into a nightclub who was on and who wasn't, because they could see if the soul had left the body. And you know, I think this person was bullshitting because they were Love and Light, but it probably is actually what happens. But if it's not that extreme, it's, you know, might as well be. And something else comes in. You know, the minute I do that, not that I would ever do it, and I haven't done it for a long time. You know, I used to do it a lot. Oh my god, like just so sexual, like, unbelievable, and abusive, like wanting to be abused. It turned me from a top to a bottom, basically, and like a sub bottom. And you know, and if I couldn't find somebody, I would just be sticking anything on my ass. You know, I'd be like, that would have been perfect. I can't be asked to mess about camera, but you know, basically, a big water buff that's got a top on it that's about that thick. So I'd work up to that. Obviously, I'd start with something. Do you want to know this? I'd start with something narrower, but by the end, I would be bouncing or something like that. And I mean bouncing. Oh god, I can feel the part of me who wants to do it because it's actually, you know, obviously the best life experience is peace and presence. But and that's on this side of the spectrum. But from the other side of the spectrum, the best life experience is with an 8-ball and getting fisted. Just the best. I've never enjoyed my life so much as in that moment. But it's not worth the downside, of course. And if you go to the extremes of the dark side of the spectrum, then that's where you're going to be bad. But it's not like you can just go there and then tomorrow come back here. You know, if you go there, then whoa, you're gonna get some attachments, and the next day is going to be, the next week is going to be horrendous. You're going to be just fully in the low vibrations, and then it's going to take you a while to get back to where you were. If ever, you know, I mean, I don't understand demonic possession enough. I don't know how easy or hard it is to get rid of it. I do actually. I just know that it's all about your own vibration, and they just fall off as you. You know, if you've got a demon that's vibrating at guilt and you start vibrating here, it has to fall off. And then it goes to Sophie or Rachel, you know. No one's chucked in any more shekels. And it's getting light. So it's going to end soon. No, it's been good. It's I mean, there might be a bit of, you know, irrelevant chat about it, but the supermarket stuff's been really good. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks for your explanation, Tom. I won't be mentioning him again. Excellent. Well done. That's really, really good self-control. Can you admit you're not enlightened? Until you can, I'm not really interested in anything else you say. I know that's at someone, so that's not really me. Even with this new thing, which has made a huge difference, it's so much better. I just can't believe I didn't get this years ago. I can't believe I didn't love myself enough to spend £7 on a bit of metal. What? You know, because I've seen these, you know, it's at least 5 years ago, probably longer, when I was like, oh, they look good. You know, it's not that it wasn't a lack of understanding on why one would use one. It was just tightness, £7. And because of it, and other things like living in the future and walking in the future, I now have horrendous posture. But obviously, this is going to be. I mean, to be fair, before I started YouTubing, I very rarely use a laptop, so it's probably actually that's a good point. That's probably why I didn't actually buy one. Yeah, there's no doubt if I use a laptop as much as I do now 5 years ago, I would have bought one of these, I'm sure. I don't know though, because I've only just, you know, I'm claiming that I've been conscious at least for a year, let's say, but, you know, I think a lot longer, to some degree, and I've only just bought one. It's like this. It's since this new high opening. So that just shows possession. That just shows how, clearly. How could I have not bought one of these? Well, something was, because there's just no logic. Like, there's no justifying not spending £7 on something that is, even if it's just from an ego enjoyment, even if it's just from an external enjoyment perspective, like, one would acknowledge that this is way better. Even if you're not, aware of posture and how important that is. It just amazes me. Just amazes me that I didn't do this sooner. Okay. I was going to say I'm going to scroll to the bottom and end the live, but I think somebody has done something. Oh, it's Debbie. I don't want it to be Debbie. I mean, I really appreciate it, obviously, but I want somebody else to experience the power of giving. I'm not discouraging you, Debbie. I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad you've done it. I just wish more people could experience the vibration that Debbie's in for themselves. Obviously, it makes no difference to me whether the fiver comes from Debbie. Yeah, no, it makes no difference to me whether the fiver comes from Debbie or someone else. I want someone else to experience the beauty of giving and leaning into that. And at first, it won't be beautiful. At first, it will feel like, and then we'll be like, oh, why did I do that? So this is from my experience. I could have an extra fiver. Scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. But it will crack something. It will open something. And through that openness, the universe can start giving more to you. So I'm assuming this is going to be about supermarkets. Sure. It's a symptomatic of the corporate beast system society we live in today. Anything that's organically gaining a following is infiltrated and destroyed from within. So I think we're still on Metallica here. Yes, I agree. I'm going for a piss. Although now, yeah, this is based on past history, so I feel like I need to it's 70% solid. The first few were 90% solid. Now it's like a bit more solid than porridge. So it's not like water. Sticking on porridge. It's not like now porridge then is trust. So it's like sludgy. Okay, now we get the oh, yeah, this guy, hey! more importantly, the skin around the asshole and the pubic bone. Oh, Jamie, never asked about pubic bone lotion, man. Did you hear all that? Yes, you did. I think the DJI can cover that. Oh gosh, I'm getting tired. Copy. Right, yeah, so for some reason I didn't dry. You know what I think it was? It was like I didn't want to wipe a towel on my ass. I had more respect for a towel than me, maybe. Wow. And I didn't want to use a toilet roll because it's all poison. It's not all, you can get, I mean, all it probably still is, but you know, it's all fragranced, which is also just poison. That's disgusting. More so in Thailand, I found, than the rest of Asia, but all of Asia definitely had, like, a lot of Asia is fragrance toilet roll, which I just, you know, your bum hole is so sensitive. It's like such an, you know, this is why, well, I don't think that even exists. Your bum hole is in direct connection with your bloodstream, or very, you know, it goes very fast. So the last thing you want to do is be putting poisons up there. Honestly, mate, the content's going to be Kevin. The content is going to be so. The content from here on in, what I'm sharing now, so recorded, let's say 4 weeks ago, is a massive step up. Have I left the concrete bunk? Oh no, I'm still sharing the visa one. So in 2 episodes, I think, maybe definitely in the next 5 episodes, but I think it's 2 or 3. I leave the concrete bunker, and then there's a big shift in the content. And then my heart gets opened. There was another big shift in the content, so that's like 2 weeks ago. So you will see that in 2-3 weeks' time, or no, if I start sharing twice a day, then definitely 2 weeks' time, or less, maybe 10 days. I can't. I'm not doing maths. I'm too tired. And now I'm in Cambodia, Siem Reap, which is a whole other heart-based energy. Well, it's a heart-based energy, whereas Vietnam is a chaotic solar plexus, lower chakra energy. This is definitely heart. Whether it's crown, I'm not sure, but it's definitely heart. Probably because I haven't really experienced my crown yet, so I can't see that in the external. But I am experiencing my heart. So now, guess what the universe has done is take me to a heart energy. And something about Angkor Wat and the heart chakra. And you know, have I told you this? Obviously, it's going to be on English Refugee, but I haven't mentioned it on Meg. I don't know if I mentioned it on that. People are going to assume that I moved here because Lee's here. No, I moved here because the universe guided me here, and I don't know how it did that. There was just suddenly a voice in my head saying, "No, I'm going to go to Siem Reap." So when I booked the ticket, I wanted to book a ticket to Laos. And then I saw that all connections were through Phnom Penh, which I'm not saying right, the capital of Cambodia. Awful, massive city, disgusting. Coming from the perspective of somebody that hates cities, as cities go, it's probably going to be one of the best ones in Asia, because Cambodia is the best country in Asia that I've experienced. But I was in, I think it's something like Phnom Penh. I was in it for 3 days, and it was just vile, just horrendous. I just can't stand cities. Why am I talking about this? What I'm talking about? Shit. Oh yeah. Talking about the reflective. Yeah. So I saw that all the. So I was booking a ticket to Laos, and I think that says it. Too much coffee too early in the morning. And I saw that I would have to transfer in Cambodia anyway, so I was like, well, I might as well stay there for a bit, but obviously not the horrible big city. So let's go to Siem Reap. And also, there's lots of people in my comments going, "You will love Samit Sehmi, you will love Sehmi, you will love Sehmi." Obviously, Angkor Wat is a pole, not as a tourist to see and take pictures, because I know, I have no idea what it is, but I know that it was built by ancients of a higher consciousness than us, with obviously incredible technology we can't even comprehend. And I know it's an energetic portal, or it's been built on an energetic portal, ley lines, for example, and astrologically there's going to be lots of stuff that I can't even begin to speak into or understand yet. So basically, the fact that that's here means that this is, let's just call it an energetic portal, but stuff that's way beyond my level of comprehension. So I went for it. And let's get this on the screen. I want to speak into that. And then that afternoon, I was watching a video, one of these videos, and he talks about Cambodia. No, I don't think he did say Cambodia, but I became aware that he was in Southeast Asia. And we're voice noting each other. And I go, where do you live? And he was like, oh, I'm in Siem Reap. It's amazing. I used to live a life very similar to yours, but I traveled around everywhere, and then I got to Siem Reap and stopped. And I was like, you're kidding me, man. 2 hours ago, I just booked a flight to Siem Reap. So that's how synchronicity works. And how the universe, brings things together in perfect unity for you as you learn to open, surrender, deepen, follow the signs. Oh gosh, am I getting bored? Or was it the shit chat? I've lost 40 people. I really like this. I haven't seen him apologise, but the fact that you're saying I forgive you, one, shows how beautiful you are and you understand the power of forgiveness. Why would you ever hold on to anything? Particularly when it's just like a YouTube thing, like, if it's your mother, that's hard to let go of. And you're even doing that, fuck me. When Debbie got onto her first call with me, she already understood how important forgiveness was. However, she was potentially going into a bit of a story over it and allowing it to, maybe it was guilt dressed up as forgiveness, i.e. still allowing really abusive attacks from her mother, and speaking into the importance of forgiveness, which of course is true, but maybe it was actually the ego using this nice story of forgiveness to allow you to keep being attacked. But she intellectually had a concept of forgiveness for sure, even before sessions with me. So what I'm saying is she's held this intellectually for a long time, and maybe more than that. But now she's definitely flowing in forgiveness because she understands, it's the only way to heal. And it's an inevitable part of the journey. Like, we go from, I'm not quite sure I'll be able to name all this, but essentially resentment to forgiveness. And it's, it feels like, how can I ever forgive that person? They did this to me, like, and it's this energy. And the reason forgiveness is so important is because, so this is your nervous system, this is your whole body, this is every cell in your body. My mom did this to me, my dad did this person. I think you're doing it for you, not them. I mean, you are doing it great, but that's not really important because everything's a reflection of this anyway. So this is why this is so much more important. It's not about being selfish or egotistical or whatever, arrogant, all these narcissistic, all these stupid words that people throw at me. Because I speak of self, so they have to project onto it that it's self-obsession, but no, it's the opposite. It's like seeing all your flaws, seeing all your bad bits and bits that they'll never look at, and allowing this surrender, forgiveness, flow, peace, presence. If you're not going to forgive someone, you're going to stay in contortion and constriction. And of course, like, I'm not saying like you got this is not Debbie's story. I'm just going off in random examples now that aren't based on anyone. You got abused as a child. Of course, resentment is inevitable and it's needed to survive for a period, which many people will just do as many lifetimes, or certainly one lifetime, probably many. But you know, for those in this chat who are on the journey, you know, through your childhood, you will need this to survive, and maybe into your adulthood, but eventually it will turn into a big C. So, I think that expresses more than any words would say. Eventually, it needs to become that. I forgive you. We all forgive you, good shifter. There's nothing to forgive. You tried, you failed. It's not about, you know, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just part of the journey. Oh, wow. This guy is this. Well, we'll see at the end, but he's starting with the acknowledgement that he failed. Now, compare this to Rick Heskey. Can you see the difference? Even better, can you feel the difference? Let's get a nice background for you. Probably that means I have to change my angle. Oh, it's not that camera. Oh, yeah, it doesn't mean I need to change my angle. We've got actually using professional equipment today. But then that does affect that shit in it. Can you feel the difference between, right, so I've not read the comments, so I could, you know, this could all to shit. But just, well, let's read the comment and then let's compare it to others. Failed because I'd watched you for 2 weeks and never taken part in a live on your channel. And never ever moderated. Zero pressure. It's not failure in my book. It's, okay, not as good as I thought. However, right, so still a massive difference between this and Rick Heskey. So there's an acknowledgement of failure. Rick Heskey can't even do that. So can you feel the difference? This is definitely a step up. However, there's still not real accountability. And what I mean, I don't mean for me, I don't mean for the audience, I don't mean for us, I mean for you. So there's still excuses, there's still the ego tricking him. So really, what will be the most powerful journey for this person is acknowledging failure, which they've done, and then asking where that comes from within them, not in the external. So they've gone completely into external after that. So it comes from a broken inner child. They've got defensive and stressed over absolutely nothing. Even from a base healing level. So like someone like Albus Adventures, for example, who is not enlightened, but is healed and wouldn't need, healed to a point where they would never need to get defensive, like a petulant 10-year-old. And I'm not trying to insult you, I'm just speaking into the energy, like it was for the inner child, it was for petulant 10-year-old, which we all have within us. And if you haven't connected with him, I think you're male, with your inner child, your little boy, which clearly you haven't, then that is going to control you. And because it's screaming out for your attention. It's literally going, daddy, daddy, father me. Older version, you know, fathering, adult version of me, please fucking acknowledge me. Oh, you're not acknowledging me, right, I'm gonna, wah, wah, wah. And that's how you showed up as a moderator. So he thinks it's because he'd only watched for 2 weeks. I mean, no, like, it was such a terrible performance. It was so lacking awareness, understanding, ability to perceive. You know, it was a 10-year-old. It was a 10-year-old that's not experienced life. And I'm not saying you are a 10-year-old. There is a traumatized part of you, which I'm calling a 10-year-old. Of course, it could be any part of your childhood. But it really did feel, you know, it didn't feel much like it was past the age of 10. You know, potentially, you know, maybe up to 13 or 14, but it wasn't, I don't think it was a trauma that happened when you were 16 or 17. I think it's much more likely to be between the ages of 4 and 9, is my feeling on it. But when you get stressed, so basically what's happening is your inner child is your embodiment, because you're not embodied. So it's coming from your gut, your emotion. It's, you know, this energy, this presence is in your solar plexus. It's in your gut, and it's not being acknowledged. It's not being loved. It's being shamed. It's being repressed, which is totally understandable. And you're not aware of this. It's just how you learn to survive. And I was exactly the same. So you're an adult who can just about function in this world, and I don't say that as a criticism. That's like basically every unconscious adult. And so you can adult in non-stressful situations, but the minute stress happens, the minute you get taken out of your comfort zone, you lose your egoic control of life, and the inner child takes over, and that's what happened. And I'm giving you this because this will change your life if you can accept it, and then do the work around it. And I'm willing to do the work with you. I'm here for you. You know, I'm really not trying to criticize you. And I've never moderated this before. So the reason this is absolute BS is because somebody with no experience who is just able to hold themselves to any degree. So let's say like someone like Albus is a great example. You know, somebody who's not enlightened but just isn't defensive and operating from the inner child, essentially. You know, I mean, you know, people have called it the worst moderating performance they've ever seen, and you know, it really was. Like, there can't be a worse. Unless somebody was, you know, to the point where we thought you were the demonic stalker, and it was deliberate. I didn't, because I saw your emails and was like, no, this is, you know, I saw what I saw. But you know, a lot of people in the chat assumed that you had deliberately sabotaged. The only way to understand how bad the performance was that you had deliberately sabotaged the chat. However, I understand inner child trauma, so I knew what was going on. And when I saw you, and so I was like, it could be the demon, but I think it's somebody who's, you know, acting from their petulant inner child. And then when I saw the emails and how upset you were about it, which again, I mean, you could be the demon and it could be a very good performance, because for some reason you get off on making me think that you're not the demon. I mean, it's all very pathetic and it makes no difference to me. But I don't think you are. But that's how bad it was, but people think you were, and I'm even open to the possibility that you were, even having seen the emails. Zero pressure, so you felt so much pressure, so that's so like, that's such an egoic lie. You're like, really, you know, that's like libtard levels of lying. I'm not a man, I've chopped my penis off, those sort of levels. It's not failure in my book. Well, again, that's the ego protecting you. It's absolutely failure, but there's nothing wrong with failure. It's zero preparation and ridiculousness. Okay, so hopefully I've broken that down for you enough, because what is impressive about your good shifters, not many people with your level of, your lack of self-introspection and self-awareness would be able to hold a reflection like that. They would get, you know, they'd do a big Hesketh. They'd get highly triggered, they'd get defensive, and then they'd get insulting. So far, you haven't done that, and you haven't even cancelled your membership. I haven't looked for a couple of days, but the last time I looked, you hadn't cancelled your membership. So you're so much further than Rick Hesketh. And you could, if you can hear these words and feel these words and go and breathe into these words, keep playing this bit of a live back on repeat. And like, you know, allow it in. This will change your life, and you have more potential to be enlightened than the asleep pussy who calls himself the awake and brave. There's an element of surrender in you, and you have major room for growth. Whereas the awake and brave, egoically, is already here and needs to crack and come down here, which is much harder, much harder. So you have a lot of potential bridge shifters. I really hope you don't go into the trigger, and this is for you. I don't care what you do. I mean, obviously there's a part of me who wants to see everyone here online that cares, but it doesn't affect me what you do. I really hope you can hear those words. Yeah, I mean, I think I've just spoke into it. I don't think you know what you're going through. I think you've got an external story of what you're going through, but I don't think you know what you're going through. Yeah, so Debbie's really delving into psychology. It's fantastic. She sent me a Chase Hughes video today. For some reason, I have some resistance to it. I've never managed to watch one of his videos, so I mean, I was at the airport. I didn't have the time. It was an hour-long video. I watched the first 5 minutes and I agreed with everything he said, but for some reason, I didn't want to keep watching. So either that's because I don't need what he's saying, and that's certainly what my ego is telling me. I feel like I know it all. Or he's got something that's going to crack me, and my ego's going like, "Oh no, you don't need this guy." Sure. Religion is a sandbox for consciousness. It needs to make you feel insignificant. Sandbox. Maybe because it's lots small and guilty. Oh, this guy, man. Religion is a sandbox for consciousness. It needs to make you feel insignificant, small, and guilty. That is so true. Learning is forgiveness. Sin is a notional concept used to create guilt. I mean, it's just absolutely spot on. There's no forgiveness in religion. It's all shame and guilt, which allows people to be controlled. Oh, that's a shock, isn't it? So he thinks I'm judging, or he thinks people are judging. It's not judging, it's reflecting, you know. Oh no, he's gone into a trigger, what a shame. Although this is before my words, and hopefully. And you know, you shouldn't need me, if it's too much for you shouldn't need me to block you, you should be able to walk away. But this is how little control you have of yourself. And obviously I advocate against control, but first you need to learn responsibility, which is kind of linked to control. But eventually you then need to let go of that, not the responsibility part, but the control part. But for you need to learn to control your impulses, and that will happen by connecting with your inner child, because obviously a 10-year-old can't control himself. And it's so bad that you need me to do it for you by blocking you. No, I'm not going to do that. I might do that soon. You shouldn't be judging. You should be encouraging. I'm off. Too defensive. Oh, look at the projection. Yeah. I knew he wouldn't be able to hold it. I thought there was a chance. But yeah, okay, that's fine. Off you go. You keep spiraling in your inner child and never healing. But there was some gold for you there, brother. There was some absolute gold if you can let it in. Let's go the lights. I love this moment. Hello, Sammy. Oh, so hot. Oh my god. It's like 5 in the morning and it's fucking boiling. It's not that bad. It's hotter than the latter. Maybe not lunchtime. It's hotter than the latter 10 a.m. Oh god, it's so humid. The latter was never that humid. You know, if you watch these videos and he opens the report at 6 in the morning, you assume he's just got out of bed, don't you? No, he hasn't gone to bed yet. I have all sorts of projections about it. But he is, obviously I won't do his words justice, but it's something along the lines of he's let go of any attachment to routine and when he sleeps. Is in the control of it. I think he acknowledges that he would rather not sit up all night and would rather sleep and not sleep through the day, but it's just what it is, and he surrenders to that. I think he's basically where he's at with it. I'm so glad. I'm obviously I just look at the big travels and. I can't wait to stop using this shit. I just can't wait to stop using this shit. You know, there's no coincidence, because coincidence doesn't exist. It's perfect synchronicity that all this is coming up and all this usage is happening just as I meet the person that's going to end all that with me, obviously. It's always diverse. It always gets, it's always darkest before the dawn. It always gets most intense before you break through. Okay, I'm going to end the stream very soon, guys. I don't think I'm even going to do a call out for more money. I think I actually want to end it. I mean, okay, so it's a 5 minute. I feel like a 10 would take us to 4 o'clock because I'm tired, so it needs to be a 10. So if you don't want the stream to end in the next 2 minutes, then chuck a 10 in and we'll go on to 4 hours, which is another. Rachel, Tom, are you done with your NCS channel now, or do you think you will be back making those videos? So I can put the NCS channel back up in a week, which I will do. I think that could change because shifts are happening rapidly right now. Well, you know, it's going to be for the rest of my existence, I imagine. Where am I at with this? So currently, but you know, this could be very different in a week. Currently, obviously, my ego is attached to 40,000 subscribers. I mean, you know, then you've got the question. But so let's say I'm done with Not Today Satan, which I'm not saying I am. I will speak into it more in a minute. But let's say I'm done with that. I mean, I'm definitely done with what it was. But whether I can still serve by speaking into the external is the question. Let's say I can't do that. Hypothetically, or maybe truthfully, we will find out when I try and do it, I guess. I think there is a way I can do it, but I'll try and stay on this without going into tangent, and then I'll speak into how I think I can do it. So let's say I'm done with it. I have a channel with 40,000 subs on. Would it be worth me stopping this channel and just switching it over to a channel with 40,000 subs, knowing that 20 of them are going to 20,000 at least? Well, who knows how many, but I would imagine at least half would unsubscribe. But then I'd have a 20,000 channel with my purpose. So that would be better than just not using it again, right? I think. I'd like your opinions on that. I'd also like you to like the video and send shekels. But particularly like the video because everyone can do that. Even the most contorted, well, not the most contorted of you, but even very contorted versions of people in the chat versions. Even the very contorted people should be able to like a video. And if you can't, you really need to ask yourself why you can't do that. You know, like, why, what is it that creates such contortion and restriction in you that you can't even like a video that you are watching? Unless you're like, hey, watching and you're demonic, obviously I'm not talking to you. Right, so that's that tangent done. Now let's speak into whether I can do it or not. Nothing, no amount of money, no amount of adulation for the ego, i.e. attention, i.e. 100,000 subs, i.e. a video that gets 100,000 views or 1 million views or whatever, which obviously the ego really desires, is worth me going on X. Because me going on, so I'm vibrating here, and X is vibrating here. So if I'm to go on to X, it's inevitable that my vibration is going to drop. You know, you can't delve in low vibration. I mean, you kind of can. But, you know, you can't consist. You know, there is a chance. You know, it's a learning for me because this is all new. You know, maybe I can hold myself enough now to be able to observe, extract, deliver without it affecting me. What is for sure, and I know this is fact, is if you use it as a coping mechanism, i.e. scrolling or just, you know, just spending time on it because you don't want to feel yourself, which, so my concern is, you know, I'm oh man, like, you know, I was sat here the other day and I was responding to comments. And usually when I'm responding to comments, I'd have a YouTube video on in the background, and I just didn't want, I just don't need, or it's getting to a point where I don't even need an external distraction anymore, unless there's a noise that I would cover up. So last night I fell asleep to, let's just say Alan Watts, I don't think it was, but you know, something along those lines, because of him. But if it wasn't for him and the boom, boom, boom that was coming from over there, so yeah, there was a bit of a beat last night. It wasn't good. And then I'm pretty sure I would have gone to bed in silence because I'm spending my days in silence. I don't need it anymore. So maybe there's a chance that I can delve in, extract. But what concerns me, because don't forget that X is designed to hook you, just like all social media is. And I think we can all agree that X vibrates in fear. And if you can't, then ooh, Jesus. Would the hook work on me? Would I end up avoiding myself through X? I think I'm way past the point. It's so powerful. Like maybe even I could still get like over it. I think I'm past that point. But I do think I could get hooked enough to lose my presence and my peace, which is worth. There's no amount of money which is worth that. You literally offer me £2 million to keep creating not today's content, and I can feel the part of me was going, of course you take the 2 million, but no, I wouldn't. Now 10 million. I guess if somebody said to me, I'll give you 100 million to do it for a year, I would take it because I could. I'm not sure I could change the world with 100 million, but I could certainly change a lot of lives with 100 million. I could create something incredible where people could escape to. Right, okay, can I answer? So now I've spoken into all that, can I actually answer a question? Right, okay, so what I think I can do is, the problem is I don't know what's going on anymore. It's all bullshit, it's all psyops, it's not really going on. It kind of is on one level, but from my perspective and from my experience, it's not going on. I don't see any, it's just not in my reality. However, obviously there's still a connection to my homelands and there's still an acknowledgement of what is happening on a big picture and also where it can go in terms of Agenda 2030, one world government, which of course is all just a mad conspiracy. But let's just speak into it for entertainment purposes. And that, my external could start reflecting it at some point, but I would be surprised because my internal is just getting more and more beautiful. So I think the universe will just keep guiding me to places where that's not the case. I don't think, for example, I think Vietnam will be, part of 2030. But whether Cambodia will, I'm not so sure. And if Cambodia is, then I'm almost certain that a little island called Timor won't be. All I know is my life experience dictates that the universe will always provide a way for solving people, but it's got its eye on. Got its eye on is so fucking not how it is, because that's separation and dualism. Dualism, probably correct. In my experience, one creates their own existence. So if one is leaning in and becoming sovereign, then one doesn't get completely done over, enslaved. That will do. By the skullduggery. I.e., so let me just put it into practical, I never wore a mask, I never had to take a jab. I socialized more than ever in my life during lockdown. I've been guided, given the resources or the ability to create the resources to get out of the UK before you're not allowed to leave, which I think is going to be in the next 6 to 24 months. And obviously that's important because there's going to be huge endings of lives in the UK soon. In my judgment, I could be wrong. Oh God, I think it's really bad. And it's me who can do better. That isn't it. I'm older and I'm way further down the line than you guys. Oh God. Oh God, maybe it is the demon. Maybe it is the demon. But I think the demon is so possessed that it's been given a demonic intelligence to know that this exposes it. You know, because so the demon would want to keep me hoodwinked, by which would want to keep me thinking that this is the demon, but this is it. This is why it's not the demon. Because oops, what have I just picked up? Oh shit! Oh my god, how do I get rid of that? Oh. Because the character has been exposed to it as a petulant little boy, and really, you know, there's no intelligence here whatsoever. Oh my god. Yeah, and why am I shocked? This is exactly what I expected. I just had a slight hope. I don't know if I've finished with this yet. I just had a slight hope that the you know, it didn't really make sense because this person is so of the inner child, and you know, in my experience, I've never seen such a petulant performance in my life, and therefore that's not true. I've seen just as petulant performances, and when I've seen them, I've seen nothing but defensiveness and projection. So it was naive for me to think that this person could be any different, but there was just a bit of hope for them, and I spent so much time really breaking it down for them. So this is a reflection for me. Pills to swine. You're doing it again, and what that means is we need to do this. We need to click on these 3 buttons, and we need to go ban user, because I need to stop giving pills to swine. He's black, and he was a member. I mean, obviously he was going to back to cancel. This is how much I value myself over money. All right, now let's put money in. We're ending the stream unless someone does it in the next 30 seconds. And oh god, let's get to the bottom of the stream. The reason I say oh god is because it's not because of your comment, Major. It's because I realise how behind I am. But then I'm at the bottom of the stream. Okay, we are going in 30 seconds unless we get some shekels. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks for the last 2 I'll ever receive from this. Oh God, there you go, man. Kerry from Ireland, Kerry from Ireland, her beautiful Irish pixie energy. How do you feel about me saying you have pixie energy? It was the look and the outsideness, and I just saw this playful pixie. It was beautiful. I love you, Kerry. I love your energy. Scrumptious. If you were younger, I would give you a lick. Thank you as always, Evimus. Camzo, you never told us where you're from, Evimus. Vic, thank you so much. Vic Helton, and of course, Debbie. Just thank you for all who you are, your friendship, your moderation, watching you deepen, surrender, and become your beautiful, authentic self. See you later.